And welcome everyone to today's stream. Back again in X-Plane 12 in the Thales A320 Neo, just like on the last stream. And today with us is SimCaesar. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there he is. He just popped off to get a soda, but here he is. You all know him. If not, check out the channel on Twitch. Although he's not streaming today, he said he wants to concentrate on flying with me here in shared flight in the A320 Neo. And as always, guys, if the sounds are too quiet or too loud, let me know. Then we'll try to get the sounds set up properly. Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so SimCaesar, you just suggested this routing today, right?
Yeah, I thought the length was good, and familiar with both of the airports, so I'm trying to give myself as much of an advantage here as I can. So
perfect. Yes. Now you are more proficient regarding pilot than I am, but I'll do my best to be a good co-pilot today, and so I'll be pilot monitoring. SimCaesar will be pilot flying. Departure Santa Barbara. Anything I should be aware of?
Departure. Well, the runway's a bit short. I would think that'd be the only thing I'd mention. Later on when I do the briefing, I'll give you the other particulars, but
perfect.
I don't think so.
Okay, hey Avenger, and I was got some of those guys. Mark, hello. Right, yeah. Let's hop into the flight deck. And somebody was already asking if it's possible in shared flight to use the Real Ops app. So the one with the all ground operations, you know, passenger boarding and so on. I decided we'll not do it for two reasons. One, it's probably just distracting from other tasks, and otherwise, you know, you never know, because SimCaesar doesn't have the app.
Good evening.
And I just don't want to risk, you know, crashing the sim or, you know, having other issues. So we're simply concentrating on flying today, crew coordination concept, you know, who does what, how to communicate in a you know, two-man environment here. And hey Voyager, moin, vielen Dank for the 64 months. Good evening, Voyager. Welcome, nice to see you. Were you on holiday, Voyager? I didn't see you on the last one or two streams. Good. Yeah, so I already discussed the kind of the you know, the task sharing today. So we'll do the basic setup where SimCaesar as pilot flying is going to concentrate on yeah, putting in data into the MCDU, and also then if he's got the autopilot engaged, he'll manipulate the mode control panel, i.e. the autopilot system. And yeah, if the autopilot is not engaged, then you know, SimCaesar will tell me what he wants to have as direct to, for example, in MCU, or he'll tell me what modes he wants in the autopilot panel. But you know, if pilot flying is flying manually, the only things, you know, he or she manipulates are the flight controls itself, and not anything with regards to autopilot. It's something a lot of people, I guess, in shared flight get wrong. You know, try to utilize the whole kind of concept and try to distribute the workload. That way, trust me, you're going to enjoy flying a lot more, especially you know, with things like ATC. Also nice to have that in task sharing separated between pilot flying and pilot monitoring. TV Ranger, hello to you. Thanks for the 82 months. Good evening.
Evening all.
Good evening. Yeah, good. We are already connected to PilotEdge and SimCaesar. Yeah, so we talked about the concepts, and what I would like to focus on today, Caesar, is yeah, you know, send me some tasks. Okay, so try to utilize, you know, the pilot monitoring as much as you can, right?
So yeah, I have a lot more experience. All the shared flights we've done have been in the 737, so that I'm pretty green with the Airbus A320 family, and I know you're a former captain, so for me today, I'm hoping to get pointers on like any bad habits I have, if you could correct those, and I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of questions along the way, like why does it do it this way, and when should I, start my descend via, and that kind of thing. So
excellent. Yeah. One thing I'm looking for, that you can get a pointer showing up in the flight deck, like a laser pointer. I'm trying to find that that prompt. Because I know you can do it in the Challenger, and I thought you can also do it here in Shared Flight. Do you know about this?
I've never heard of that. The Challenger has its own shared flight system, so interesting. Yeah, it's pretty unique in that way.
So active flight. Let me just see. I'm just going to see if I can active flight. Or maybe JSNet was talking about this. And hasn't implemented it just yet. All right.
I love the idea because you could really annoy the person you're flying with,
For one, yes. But for me, for example, it would be a lot easier if I could pinpoint things like on the autopilot panel,
Well, I have your stream running on my second PC, so I can just turn my head and see what you're doing, and
okay.
So we can do it that way.
All right, and Fabian, hello to you, and also hello Alex and Fishcup. Nice to see you guys. Oh yeah, so Fishcup, he wants the the clicking sounds of the MCDU. Although I'm still not sure he's pulling my leg on that. I think. Cool. Right, so I'll get the aircraft powered up, and then once it's powered up, we will start programming things. Well, actually, you will.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for the gifted sub to Monster. Monster, say a big thank you to SimCaesar. Usually with us up there.
Yeah, Monster. Monster is a moderator in my channel. So.
Yeah, I remember.
And a dear friend.
Nice. I'm just going to dial under the sim sounds a bit here, because I'm using the BBS sounds. So that way it doesn't overpower our voices. Hey Mustafa, who's flying the bird? Well, guess. SimCaesar, he's going all in. He wanted to be pilot flying today, so it'll be my pleasure to be pilot monitoring. And so SimCaesar already said he would like me to give him feedback whenever I notice something that he's doing where I'm thinking like it would be best not to do it.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience.
And Romeo, hello to you as well. And SimCaesar, thanks. Another gifted stuff to Mustafa. Thank you so much. Oh yes, Josh, I was going to mention that. So SimCaesar, you know Jerry from Big Jet TV here in Europe? He streams mostly from London Heathrow Airport.
I don't believe I do.
Okay. Yeah, he's had 2 strokes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so he's in the hospital.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so greetings out to him and his family, and I wish him a speedy and a full recovery.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that today as well.
Okay, I confirmed I do have the LEAP engines, so...
Okay, perfect, yeah. So that's what we're flying today.
99% sure, so...
Yeah, I'll check outside. Yeah, they look like LEAPs. Fantastic. Yeah, Aki, that's why he hasn't been streaming lately. I was wondering that as well, because I didn't see a stream from him for a very long time. Good. Yeah, so we'll do a shared, cockpit here. So, as mentioned, I'll do the overhead panel. IRL... it is the pilot flying that's doing the overhead panel in most airlines, but it's just here in shared flight. It is just a little bit kind of badly balanced if the pilot flying does overhead panel, the MCD programming, autopilot setup, because then the pilot monitoring really doesn't have much to do. In the real world, the pilot monitoring will do the outside check. I mean, I can do that, but I'll do it. You know what? I'll power up. I shall do so. Now the question is, if I open a door, see, you can have a quick look if it opens for you
Okay.
as well. So I'm opening one left.
Okay. I think my one left was already open.
Oh, okay, so that maybe... I would have been surprised if it does synchronize that, but yeah. Good. So I have done all my stuff. Oh, I didn't know you could actually have the you could wear the oxygen mask and told us. I didn't know that. Ah. You know what, Caesar? I've got a weird deja vu regarding blackout. Wasn't that on our last flight? I had a blackout. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yes. And I think it was unexplained because I didn't have any blackout and you were having blackout and I was watching your stream and it was kind of entertaining.
Exactly. So I checked my oxygen mask. I have one. So today, no blackout for me.
And we didn't declare an emergency. You just powered through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I survived.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So no surprises today. Right, I got my stairs. Nice. I'm going to go outside, which means I'm going to go into the walk-around mode. I hope... I'm not sure if that... We'll try. It's a new experience, right? So I'm outside now. People want to see the outside checks, so I'll start on this side. This is normally where you start the outside check on the A320. That is a panel error. Yeah, that wouldn't be black normally. Right, we'll start up here with the pitot statics, the angle of attack vanes there. We'll have a look for the landing gear. Tires looking good. No hydraulic fluid dripping off. All the wires connected. Nothing hanging out. Looks good. Strut is nicely visible, so it's not completely depressed, anything like that. Pre-charges in, so that's good. That looks good. And normally you kind of go up in here and then try to get your head somewhere positioned so you can have a look up here to see if the nose gear pin is removed or not, which is removed. Fantastic. Checking all the pitos. Standby port here. Yeah, we'll have a look at the nose, make sure there's no bird strikes. Windshield wipers look okay. Icing pin detector is there. Same thing here now. Static ports, pitot tubes. I'll have a look at this side of the nose wheel. Looks good. Some more static ports. Angle of attack vane. Yeah, and normally if the cargo hold is open, I would have a look for the panel. Is it the panel in here? And that would be open, and then I'll have a look in there. There should be a green light in there, illuminated, and that indicates that the cargo door is locked up. And sometimes that bulb would be broken. So obviously if the door stays up, it's locked, it doesn't come down. And then you could, press on the bulb. I think if I remember correctly, press on the bulb, and then if it doesn't light up, the bulb is broken. That's something for the technicians to have a look at. Right. Then again, we'll have a look at, in general, make sure that there's no big dents, no damages on the fuselage, no bird strike traces. Leading edges, same thing. Bird strike check. Make sure the panels are closed. Engine, you would have to kneel down and make sure all the latches are closed below. Panels here are closed. Inlet lip, no damages, no bird strike remains. Fan blades, make sure there's no large nicks or kind of damages on the leading edges, which can happen quickly. So whenever you kind of have FOD, so you suck in some little stones or whatever, they can leave little marks or little ticks or nicks on the fan blade edges. And in general, it's not terrible. I mean, the fan blade wouldn't rip off that that way, but technicians normally then would try to just even it out a bit. So they would bring out some how would you call it? What's file in English? Not sandpaper, but they would try to with the special tools try to make the edges less pronounced, and then it would check as well, make sure there isn't any bigger damage that would force them to replace the whole fan blade. Interesting that the it's turning. I'm trying to remember, because of the geared fan blade or geared Pratt & Whitney engines that we had. Because of that gearbox, they normally wouldn't turn. Yeah, I think the wind doesn't have enough force there to turn them. Interesting. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I've never seen them turn on the ground. Now, what do you mean, Aviamar? Relops or Totus thing? The walk-around mode, or what? No, that's a completely separate app. Yeah, same here. You have your engine oil access panel here. Make sure that is closed and locked. Same thing. You look for any oil traces on the ground. Check for leaks, etc. No, that's a different app. It's a walk-around app. Yeah. Yeah, Flash. The thing is, Fishcop, it will not show on the other person's cockpit. So for any kind of light that you shine in the flight deck, you would have to have that in the shared flight app itself. Right, look for the static discharger. Make sure they're all there. Should be 9 of them. Yeah, 9 of them it is. Flat fairings with also static discharger at each of these flat fairings. Make sure there's no damages there. Flaps look aligned. Then a general look from behind again. Make sure latches are closed. No obvious damages. Landing gear. Look for the tire condition. Make sure no hydraulic fluids are there. Brake wear pins we would check. Can't really see them here. I think it's modeled here. But if we've seen them many times, right? Make sure that the pins are at least not flush with the casing, because that way you have another couple of cycles that you can use for the brakes. Yeah, make sure the landing gear pins are removed. Interestingly, it's not really a pin here that you have in the 320. What you have is like a sleeve, which would be placed on this actuator here. So it's not a pin per se here. Right. Yeah, gear door closed. Obviously, again underneath. Sometimes there's these panels here. These covers, they normally hold within the hydraulic reservoirs. So yeah, quite often you would have some hydraulic fluids or remains just running aft on the fuselage. If there's any fresh traces or too many traces, then you would contact maintenance as well for them to check. I mean, sometimes if they fill up the hydraulics, yeah, you may have some residual fluid somewhere in that panel, and it'll be sucked out by the airflow.
Could new subscribers please?
But in general, if there's any puddles on the ground, yeah, you've got an issue.
Where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served.
Daniel, hello. Welcome to the 41 months. Thank you.
Moin moin.
Moin moin.
Alice Gut. Hello
Yeah, Alice
everyone. Any plans flying the FSLabs A321N again? Wish you and SimCaesar a good flight.
Thanks so much for the wishes. And yeah, I mean, I've been in the Neo from FSLabs last week, I think. So yeah, we'll come back again for sure. Yeah, here again, it's like with any of these wings stabilizers as well. Make sure the edges are clean. There's no ice and no bird remains, no bigger dents. Interesting enough, quite often on the real aircraft, you have little dents in here, and it's literally hail strike that you may encounter from time to time, and it does leave little marks on here. So that surface very rarely is actually even. Same for the rudder, really. Although the rudder is a bit more, a bit stronger. Yeah, we check as well for any, any obvious damages, dents, any kind of tears. Static discharge was 5 on the rudder. I've got 5 on each stabilizer side. Yeah, outflow valve, that should be open on the ground, obviously. For the doors, we check panels closed, nothing hanging out, all right? Especially with regards to the emergency chutes, APU, outlet, inlet. Again, make sure there's no oil traces. The latches from the APU box here, all closed correctly. Yeah, and then you would do the same as we did on the left side. It would just be repeated. Now, here comes the big question now. So, Caesar, you have finished all the inputs? Question mark.
I haven't put the flight plan in there.
Okay.
I wanted to get the clearance first, and the ATIS and all that stuff. But I put the preliminary stuff in there.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I loaded the aircraft. I generated a new sim brief, which I just sent to the Discord for you, based on the actual zero fuel weight of the aircraft.
Perfect.
So that should be all loaded in, ready to go.
So I'll just check. Have you got pounds on your side?
Yes, I have pounds.
Okay, so I have to do that as well. Aircraft config. Aircraft config. Yeah, now I've got pounds as well. Fantastic. So I can see zero fuel weight, 133,864 pounds in the TOLUS. So I may have to change those values. Let's see what do you have?
What was the zero fuel weight is here. I've got a 128,612.
Okay, so how many passengers do you have?
Okay, let me just pull that up here.
Who bought this thing? Bailey, though.
Okay, I've got 94 passengers.
Interesting. You know what? I think just as he opened the TOLUS ISCS, it synchronized the data. So I've got 94 passengers.
Ah.
Yeah. I have
3750 and 6650.
Perfect. Yeah. So 128,612 pounds. Zero fuel CG 30.5%. And I have 13,400 pounds of fuel.
Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect. Alrighty. Cool. Then let me get my charts out. So we'll do this as close as we can to the real aircraft, so I can get the clearance. So airport parking infos. Good. So I can see we have a frequency clearance 32.9. Let's see. I am going to try to select it on my side and activate that so that you should be able to see it on your side as well. 1329.
It's on. I have that on both sides.
Yeah, should be fine. So that's one thing, and then just to make sure that I have everything correctly set with the volumes. So 3265 is the ATIS. 3265. And Thomas, hello to you. Good evening. 3265. Okay. So I'll dial it under 1.
Santa Barbara
Do you hear
Municipal
that?
Airport, 8 is
I do.
information kilo,
Perfect. So that's working.
1853 Zulu, wind 130 at 7, visibility 10, sky condition, clear, temperature 21, dew point 14, altimeter 3008,
Yeah.
arriving and departing runway 7, 15 left,
Oh.
15 right.
Departing runway
Visual
7.
approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information below.
That's a bit unusual.
07, okay.
But our departure still works for 7, so.
QBA, you could say that. I mean, the important thing is that although we'll simulate the final load sheet as we get closer to departure, that way we could simulate how it's done IRL regarding who reads what from the load sheet and then who puts what into the box and so on.
Bakerfield approach, November 968 Sierra. VFR to Mojave Airport, leaving 1,500, climbing to 7,500.
968 Sierra, Bakersfield departure radar contact.
Mind the right frequency, I'm requesting Bakerfield approach contact, November 968 Sierra.
Sierra, say again.
I'm requesting the frequency for Bakerfield approach frequency, November 968 Sierra.
Yeah, it should be 118.8, but this frequency, you're on 18.9 now, that works as well.
Roger, November 968 Sierra.
Alrighty, let me just get my charts out here. Can I screw or something there? It is PilotEdge. Fantastic. Oh yeah, and we are Delta. Let's see, Delta.
1980?
Oh, that's actually should be easy to remember, right?
I'm sorry?
That should be easy to remember. 1980, perfect.
Yeah. That's the that's the year the very first desktop flight simulator or flight simulator for desktop PCs was released.
Nice.
So that's I use that as my call sign.
All right, I'm going to try to get a chance.
That is not the year that I was born.
Requesting altimeter,
Yeah, I
November
was trying to think,
yeah.
but yeah, no.
I'm much younger than that.
Yes, exactly.
3026, November
Black Box
968,
and I have met in person, so
Yeah.
he can attest
Yeah, that's true.
to my young age.
All right, I'll get a clearance. Hang on. Santa Barbara clearance, good.
Oh, and if you could
afternoon.
tell that controller that
Delta
SimCaesar says hello.
1980, information Kilo requesting clearance, please. I'm not sure if I have the right button set for that. Probably is again.
Oh, in fact, I know that I don't, so I should change it because I was on VATSIM last night, and you have to change it. They both have their own. So in case like you need to step away or something, I should have mine ready to my push to talk button set up correctly.
Oh, and that's why on Discord as well. Yeah. So it's pushed to mute, so you will only hear me over the frequency, not over the. over the over this call. So PilotEdge.
It's contact ATC is what you need to put in there, and it's confusing because there's a contact ATC push to talk, but that's not it. It's just the one that says contact ATC.
Okay. Joystick. That's going to be That's the one. Contact. All right, let's try again. So yeah, the one that says it doesn't do it. Yeah, weird sometimes. That's flightsim for you. Santa Barbara clearance. Good afternoon. Delta 1980 information Kilo requesting clearance, and SimCaesar says hello.
Delta 1980 Santa Barbara clearance. Good morning. Clear to the Phoenix Airport. Mission 5 departure. Santa Catalina transition on a filed. Maintain 3000. Expect flight 330 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.55. Squawk 6670. Tell him I say hello as well.
I think you heard that right.
Yes.
Delta 1980, thank you much. And we are cleared to Phoenix Airport, runway 7, the mission 5 departure. And I think it's a Sierra X-ray Charlie transition. And we're going to climb initially 3000, expecting 330 after 5. Departure frequency 120.55 and squawk 6670.
Delta 1980, read back correct.
So I don't hear you at all when you're transmitting to ATC.
Delta 1980, I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
How in the heck did you get him in an Airbus?
That's a long and interesting story.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it one day.
I can't hear you when you're talking to ATC, Black Box.
Okay, so so what I'm doing, I'm muting myself on Discord. So I'm not sure. You heard the ATIS, correct?
I heard the ATIS and I heard the readback. I hear the broadcasts from the controller, but I don't hear you.
That is interesting.
I see the shadows of birds on the ground, and I don't see any actual birds. I just see shadows of like seagulls on the ground, and they just flew by and now they're gone. Is that something in 12.4?
It could be, or maybe from the add-on. I don't know. Let me just. I need to have a look, because what I'll do then, I will get rid of the push to mute here in Discord so that you can hear me at least in Discord. And now I have to find the profile.
That'd be fine.
Just have a look here.
Oh, go over here.
Now, I've never had that kind of problem. So, where are those settings again? Oh, keybinds, there it is. Keybinds, and then it's push to mute. Okay, so now hopefully you should hear me over Discord at least when I'm transmitting.
Okay.
Hey, Toto. Ah, okay, Toto, thanks. So Toto says I don't have to. So on PilotEdge, you don't have to mute on Discord because it prevents the loopback anyways. Perfect. Thanks, Toto. Thank you much. That explains it. Good. Okay, so I'm seeing you're already inputting the routing. I'm just going to check that it's synchronizing everything correctly. So I'm also going to check the departure route here. Departure mission 5. So we set initial 3000, correct. Squawk off we put in. So 7 is going to be towards the east. Okay. F1 mission. And then we go to Santa Catalina. Perfect. Over. Now I am going to close the door on my TOLUS configuration, and then you can do the same later on your side. So it's there, fantastic. Any objections for me starting the APU, Captain?
No objections.
Perfect.
Please proceed.
Starting up. Interesting. No, it's interesting because that's something sometimes my first officer would ask me. Because in Europe we have many airports where you have huge restrictions regarding noise pollution. So in some airports you would only be allowed to start the APU like 5 minutes before departure or something. And so that the co-pilot doesn't get told off by the captain,
Ladies and gentlemen,
they would always ask the captain if it's okay to
aboard
start the
Captain
APU.
Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their
Oh,
past
SimCaesar, thank you much for another
first
gifted sub to Goldsea. He says, thanks Twitch Santa.
You're well.
Good. Let me know when you finish all the inputs and I can check them.
Okay, let me see here. Actually, I should put my takeoff performance stuff in there, correct?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Let's see.
Let's pretend we're now getting the final numbers, okay? So if you read the final numbers of your TOLUS, or the weight and balance that you have in the EFB, then we'll pretend that you as a captain, you're now finalizing everything, you're checking the load sheet, make sure everything is loaded correctly, and then you're going to give me the zero fuel weight, the zero fuel weight CG.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here. Pull that up here. So our zero fuel weight is 128,612 pounds, and zero fuel weight CG is 30.5%.
Okay, so I'm getting with 13.4 block, I'm getting a takeoff weight, and this is something you're going to check. So I'm going to tell you the takeoff weight. So I'll look at my fuel prediction page, and it says 141.6, and I'm going to subtract maybe 300 to 400 pounds for taxi. So the takeoff weight should be around 141.2. And then you should...
Okay, 141.2. I have 142 takeoff weight.
Let's have a look. Well, I've got 141.571 on my weight and balance page. So let's have a look again.
I'm looking at the EFB. Should I be looking at something else?
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, we seem to have different values then, because on my EFB, I've got 128,612 is a fuel weight. Fuel 12,959, and then it says takeoff weight 141,571. Maybe have a
Let me go back there. Okay, so zero fuel weight 128,612.
Yeah.
Takeoff weight 141,571.
Yeah, that's it. So
okay, all
The
right.
thing is, though, from what I can see, it doesn't subtract the about 400 pounds taxi fuel. Right. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just leave it, not make it more complicated than it is. So we'll say 141.6. That's the value, though, that's we're going to use for takeoff performance calculations, okay?
Okay.
Lastly, then you should tell me the takeoff CG, which is gross weight CG 30.7. And then what I would do, I would go to my trim wheel and check 30.7, and I would say that should equal about 0.3 up or something. Which we can check on the performance calculation in a second.
Okay. Let's see. Sure, I got it. I have up 0.1 if I calculate it.
Yeah, sounds good. So, trim wheel, maybe I've got a parallax error or something. But that's fine. We'll say 0.1 up is fine. That's checked. So that concurs with the load sheet. And we take full length, obviously. And when you would like, normally before you enter the values into the box, we should compare our results.
Okay.
So I'll read them to you. So I've got config 1 plus F, flex 74, V1 131, VR 140, and V2 143. Trim up 0.1 and green dot 212.
Okay, there I have the same.
Okay, perfect. So now we can enter those values.
Do you think config 2 is a better choice for this runway?
You can try. I mean, you can always force config 2. Let's have a look.
It gives us quite a bit more
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
margin of error, I think.
So I've got almost 600 feet stop margin, 200 meters. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Do you need to read the numbers to me again?
Yep, yep. In a second.
And then I have my first question of the day.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So if I'm looking at the performance calculator, it says V1 is 123-127.
Interesting. Yeah, because I only have 127. Have you changed anything with the wind data or the?
No, the only thing I changed was config to. I forced config 2.
Okay, interesting. And runway condition dry, confirm.
Runway condition dry. Yes.
Interesting, because it normally you would only get a V1 range if it's like wet runway. So that's interesting. So I've got flaps 2, flex 74, and then V1 127, VR 135, and V2 138.
Okay, mine disagree a little bit.
Okay.
I have the V1 was the range I said. The VR is 133 and the V2 is 136.
Okay, then we have to check in. Have a look at the takeoff weight, because I put in 141.6.
I've got 141.6 on takeoff weight.
Okay. That's weird that we have different values. So I've got, let's have a look, wind 128 at 6.
Wind 128. Okay, I've got a different wind. The METAR says the wind is 140 at 7. That's
Okay.
what I put in there.
All right, so that's maybe a different value. So 140 at 7.
And the temperature is 21C.
Yeah, 3008. Okay, now, yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe the wind. Yeah, it should be. No, that should be fine here. Okay. So now I've got
Okay.
flaps 2, flex 74, and the range 123 until 127. VR 133, V2 136. Green dot 212.
Those are correct. So what do I put into the FMC for V1?
So that's a question. A good question. So use the captain. So what's the difference? Well, normally, like I said, normally you would get this range only when you have a wet runway. I've never really seen that on a dry runway as a range. So it's a kind of a shift from the balanced field length, meaning the distance for you to accelerate to V1 and then stop the aircraft would be the same as accelerate to V1, but continuing and then with an engine
Riverside
failure.
ground, good afternoon. Baron, November 485 Victor is looking to pick up a big
that distance
flight
would be the
falling over
same,
2 Kilo Charlie
i.e.
Romeo
that would be
Quebec.
balanced.
Aircraft type is a BE-58. Cruising altitude is going to be 5,500.
Since it's a
with
range
information
now, so wet runway, what happens is that the program would give you a lower option for V1 so that you have more stopping distance available.
485
right?
Victor, Riverside ground,
so the
departure
margin for stopping
frequency
gets bigger.
135.4,
But that means
squawk
that your
6524.
accelerated go distance will be longer, so it's no longer balanced really. But if you only look at the stop case, which is the important thing for us today. No, I can only, Jacob, I'm trying to lower the volume from ATC, but I think...
departure on 135.4, squawk 65.
That's it. I have to dial it on the left side. So I just dialed down the volume bit, Caesar, because people are complaining. That
Sure, yeah.
ATC is a bit
It's
low.
nice that those work on PilotEdge.
Yeah. Good. So yeah, so if you look at your runway graph there, it says ASD V1 min, and then it says ASD V1 max. Right, so you have two different values now. So the accelerated stop distance V1 min, so for the V1 123 knots, you only need accelerated stop of 5,029 feet, which means you have 426 feet more than when you choose to board at 127 knots V1, right? So what you're giving yourself is more time and a little bit more buffer with the lower V1 to stay on the runway, right? So it's more like personal preference. And again, on a dry runway, it doesn't really matter that much, because on a dry runway, the reverse thrust has no credit in the calculations. But normally you would have at least one reverse thrust available. Meaning that means you have a bit more buffer as well. But on a wet runway, you know, depending, so wet runway is hard to define. And so you're not really always 100% sure how much braking force you would have. I mean, there's some buffer in the calculations, yes, but I know some captains, and myself included, when the runway was wet, I would have at least 300 meters stop margin, if possible. Right, so we would tweak these values to a point where I have, like, you know, 900 feet of stopping margin. Okay. And if you take the lower V1 here, you can see it's got 6,041 feet of runway length. So that's the physical runway or takeoff run available. But if you take the lower V1, which means you accept a lower speed until which speed you can abort a takeoff, correct? So if you take a V1 of 127, it means you have 4 more knots, which is about 1 more second, 1.5, 2 more seconds time on the runway to abort for any failure. Because we know once V1 is reached, we have to take the aircraft into the air. You cannot abort takeoff anymore. Right? So you have to evaluate what's more important to you. Having the option to abort for a longer period of time on the ground, or do you want to scrap that and say, okay, no, I'd rather go airborne at an early decision, which then allows you to have more stop margin on the runway. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so you as a captain, you have to decide now, do you want the lower V1 or the upper V1?
I'll take the lower V1.
Okay, Roger.
Sounds more my style.
Yeah. Perfect. So I'll just watch you enter the values there, and then...
Okay. Let's see, and then what do we got? Flaps flaps 2, and then up 0.1.
Cool. He says SimCaesar playing it safe, but that's a new one. Oh.
And the flex 10.
We have a saying, I think we have the same saying, probably English, but if you've got friends like that, you don't need enemies, right?
All right, have I put everything in there correctly?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 6, up 0.1, flaps 2. Yeah, and then last thing, engine out and thrust reduction. I think, unless you've seen something different, we'll do NADP 2 and engine out in 1600.
Do I need to put those values in?
Yep. So it'll be,
okay, so
it'll be 1030, 1030, and 1600.
Okay.
There's a question.
Looks good.
Yeah, yeah. So I've checked the values. Fantastic. RATNAV, do we need anything? How about we put in the RATNAV, we put in Santa Catalina, just as a reference.
Okay.
Even though it's an hour of departure, so strictly speaking, we don't need really to put anything there, but I've just seen a bird fly by. Or several birds. I do have birds on my stream, so... not just...
They don't seem to be doing any damage, but...
No worries there. Yes, I would just put Charlie Mike Alpha on VR1 or VR2, whatever you like. So that's on the RATNAV button.
Okay, Rat. So I want to put
Charlie.
Santa Catalina.
Oh, yes, that's
is that
Sierra
right?
X-ray Charlie. Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Sierra X-ray Charlie.
Sierra X-ray. All right. Okay, that's got the frequency already. All right.
Good. So init A page, B page, flight plan page. Yeah. Mission, top of climb, thermal, Blythe, scope, Snora. Either 1 arrival. Was up. Was the ILS, I guess. 08. Missed approach all in. Fantastic. RATNAV is set. Secondary flight plan. Yeah, so, I mean, what we do is secondary index. I mean, you can do that on your side if you like. So, below the init button, there's a sec flight plan button. Yeah. And then copy active. So that's like route 2 on the Boeing planes.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do now is we would put in a contingency plan for takeoff. So for example, today we would go and calculate a quick return to the airfield. So we would take any fix, so like FROM, if you click on FROM there, then go to, on the right hand side, type in new destination, type in Kilo Sierra Bravo Alpha. Yeah. Perfect. And now on the left hand side, line select key 6, click on KSBA. Yeah, and then go to arrival, top right. And then just click on the ILS 07. And then no star. And then no via. And then go to have a look at your display. Get it to the lowest range, please. Nav display, lowest range. So you see the white line. So the green line is the active flight plan, and the white one is the secondary flight plan. So what we've done is that, let's say we have an engine fire that doesn't extinguish after liftoff, right? So we have a really time-pressing abnormal. Then we would just do the procedure. So we would fly the aircraft, aviate, navigate, communicate, run the checklist, and then we would return quickly to the field, right? And then all you would have to tell me is activate secondary flight plan. And on the right-hand side, if you look at my secondary index there, now I've got an amber line there that says activate secondary, right? So if I press that and confirm that, it would then change destination to Santa Barbara with the ILS 07. Right, so that way I can quickly amend the flight plan, give you the ILS to navigate with. And if we really want to be really prepared, you can even put the performance values in already for a quick return in the secondary flight plan. I'm going to skip that, but the idea is that you can so simply fly the aircraft and very quickly get the ILS tuned and fly the ILS back again without, that much effort in flight. So that's the idea behind the secondary flight plan that we do on the ground. I mean, it's not going to happen today, but if JSNAP gets, failures working at some stage, and you never know, you might get an engine failure on takeoff, right? So not today, though. Don't worry. Not today.
Not today. Okay.
Not today. So that way, but we pilots would do that IRL. And the very last thing, what we would do, if you go to flight plan again on the MCDU, then click on one left, and then go to one right, fix info. And now on this page, we would do the initial engine out recovery track, so the lateral track for the engine out. Let's keep it simple today. We would just go straight out. So I would look at the runway track, which is 075 degrees. So what you need to program is, first of all, the runway, so the airport and the runway. So you would put in Kilo Sierra Bravo Alpha 07. Yeah, put it in there. Perfect. Now on the radial, just put in 075. Yeah, and now have a look again at your nav display. You now see that cyan dashed line, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's the runway track line. So that's what we could then fly simply by activating, flight path, the track on the autopilot panel, and just select the track 075, and the autopilot would then fly exactly that track. Now there's some people, they would even program a waypoint at the end of the track there to be able to fly it in nav mode. I can tell you that for us, we never bothered with that. Reason being is that as you fly the aircraft initially manually anyways to recover the engine failure, and then you activate the autopilot, and then the first thing you do, as it still is under the point aviate, you will tell the autopilot where you want to go, right? So if you want to go straight ahead, run the track, well, you got your heading track button, you just switch it to track, put in 075, and that's it. And the autopilot does exactly what it should do, right? And then you know it's going to track that line. There's no need really to use nav mode. Right. Good, but that's it. All right, so now that's the whole procedure that we would do to prepare the aircraft IRL. So we are truly finished with all the preparations now.
Alrighty.
Good. So, briefing. You would first of all tell me pushback and taxi out. What you're going to do as the captain.
Okay. We're going to take runway 7, so we're going to need to push back, tail south, and we're going to have to call for request pushback onto
Yep.
Echo,
Yep.
the active taxiway.
I agree.
Our SID is the mission
Oh, no, hang
5.
on, stop. No, sorry. No,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
just...
sorry.
So yeah, for you, it's just a taxi out, and I would say, so facing tail south, so we're going to be expecting taxi via Echo and Alpha, and then we've got a runway crossing. So I would consider that as a hotspot. Right, that's worth mentioning for taxi out. So we have to get eyes peeled, crossing runway, and that's it. That's all initially you have to brief, right? So then
All right.
then I brief as a pilot monitoring, so it's an interactive briefing if you like. I brief the takeoff runway 07 at the SID is the mission 5 on of departure, according to waypoint. So initial 075, then we go to intercept course 124 to Evron, correctly programmed, and then we go after Evron we go direct 133 course to mission, and then it's 114 degrees to Santa Catalina. It's all programmed correctly. Initial climb was given to us by ATC, 3,000 feet. The safe altitude sector is 8,300, but that's obviously due to high terrain to the north. So the way we're going to be over water. Well, there's an island to the south there. But 8,300 is the MSA on that path. Extra fuel and time. For that, I'm going to go to the init B page. And it says we have an hour 14 extra time. So that's my briefing as pilot monitoring, and then you as pilot flying, you tell me the stop margin for your rejected takeoff and the engine out SID, and then what we would do in case of a quick return. So if you want me to do it, quickly give an idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the stop margin I can see is about almost 1,000 feet. So should not be any issues for the stop case. Engine out, we've drawn in that engine up path straight ahead, 075 degrees. Engine out acceleration, 1,600 feet. 1,600 feet. And then we'll level off, clean up, and then green dot climb to at least, I would say, 4,000 feet south of the airport. So we do right turns. And then we'll get radar vectors back to land here, runway 07 and Santa Barbara. Yep, so that will be the diversion or return consideration. Then anything non-standard, anything threat-wise that we have to mitigate?
Non-standard and threat-wise, no threats.
No, I don't see. Well, I mean, well, actually, I would say threats are birds. So bird strike. I'm seeing birds all the time here, so it's like an Alfred Hitchcock film. But yeah, so I would say since it's the seaside, yeah, threat seagulls, birds, but apart from that, runway crossing we talked about. No, rest is all good on my side.
Okay.
So I would be ready for a checklist.
Okay, let's do the let's see, cockpit preparation.
Exactly. So I'll read, and so gear pins and covers removed. I was pilot monitoring because I was. Oh no, hang on. They changed that. So I told you everything's good outside. So actually, you will respond. So gear pins and covers
removed.
Yeah. Fuel quantity.
We have. Fuel on board is 13,180 pounds.
Balanced. Yep. Balanced it is.
Yep.
Seatbelts.
Seatbelts are on.
So did you check overhead or did you check the ECAM?
I checked the overhead.
You see, you checked the ECAM.
Okay.
So seatbelts there.
Seatbelts.
Yeah, exactly.
I see green.
Yeah. So on. Yeah. Cool. ADIRS. Now, ADIRS, I already put up the page for you, data, position monitor, and then you check, it says IRS 123, you make sure it says nav in all of those. And then you just answer nav.
Okay. Nav.
Yeah. Barrow ref.
3008.
So we got information Lima 3006. I'm just seeing now. So I've got 3006 at 10.
3006. Okay.
And that's the cockpit preparation checklist completed. So you could call up pushback, and so better pushback, and I will call ATC and ask for pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Tow is driving up.
Perfect. So just 1 second. And guys, let me know if ATC is too loud or too quiet, please. Santa Barbara ground. Good afternoon, and from Delta 1980, stand for Alpha information Lima, requesting push onto Echo.
Delta 1980 Santa Barbara ground. Roger. Tail south. Push onto Echo approved.
Tail south. Push on Echo approved. Delta 1980.
John May Tower, Cessna 6337 X-ray 1700 on the localizer 20 right for the
so I'm not sure, did you hear the clearance?
I did.
Okay,
I'm just waiting for the the ground equipment. Has it been disconnected?
So that should be you that should do that.
Okay, and we're on the APU?
Yeah, we're on the APU.
Okay.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Good. So your item would now be on the overhead. You would switch on the fuel pumps.
I do that?
Yeah, you do that. And you also switch on the beacon light. It's deemed as being very kind of safety sensitive because the beacon light means it shows everyone on the ground, hey, careful, we're going to start the engines. So apparently, according to our SOPs, the captain did that. I will switch on the TCAS at the transponder. Make sure it's transmitting. TA array will do that. And
so connected and
doors,
bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, we're ready to release parking brake.
Yes, go ahead. Enter.
Okay. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
No, okay. We have to read the before start checklist.
Before start checklist, go ahead.
Parking brake.
Released.
Takeoff speeds and thrust.
So I should
go to performance page, exactly. Just so perf page. Press perf, exactly.
So V1 123, VR 133, and V2 136.
And then it's Flex 74, you say as well.
Flex 74.
Yes, I'll repeat that. 123, 133, 136, Flex 74. Windows doors.
Closed.
And the beacon.
Beacon is on.
And that's the before start checklist complete. Right, so engines. Start is all yours. So what you would announce, you'd say engine start, starting engine 2.
Okay, engine start, starting engine 2.
Perfect. So that I, as a co-pilot, know what you're doing. Even though I do know what you're doing.
Okay, my first shared cockpit in the Airbus, so...
Exactly. No, that's all. That's, like I said, I'll remind you of anything I notice.
Lookout approach.
But you're doing good so far. So Haley Lintown.
Palomar inside, request frequency change.
So Avimar's asked ATIS airport brief would say caution birds in vicinity, but what can do with the information? Yeah, it's the same Avimar, you taxi out, you see birds around the runway. I mean, you can tell the tower, report that, but in the end, it's your decision if you want to take off or not.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
128.1, Fusion X-ray.
Disconnecting tow.
Hey Keith, hello to you. Greetings. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's an option.
Tower, good afternoon.
If you do the takeoff run and suddenly you see a huge flock of birds and big birds. I mean, if you're in the lower speed band, then you can definitely consider rejecting the takeoff.
New subscribers should now pick up their
Ready
past
for engine start one?
43 mile final 35 vector.
Okay.
Thanks so much, SimCaesar. Another gifted sub. Very kind of you to keep.
Yeah, if it wasn't enough pressure flying with the Black Box 711, now K Smith PE is here too, so.
Oh dear.
Gonna have a heart attack any moment.
And bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a great flight.
Hey, Ghost. Yeah, let's have a look here. Left-hand side. Yeah, so Aviamar, the thing is, it depends on what birds. So it's like pigeons or something, then or seagulls. Yeah, I'll be worried. If it's crows, then I wouldn't be that worried because they are very very clever birds.
From John Wayne.
I can't remember ever hitting a crow. So yeah. I've hit everything apart from Albatross. Oh, dangerous, yeah. Albatross definitely.
We'd like to go back to Long Beach with a localizer 30 practice approach.
Good. So, good engine start. Now, your responsibility is overhead panel, and I'll do the rest.
My responsibility is...
And the thing is, and the trigger is the following. You put the engine start switch back to normal, and you don't have to say after start flows. That is signal for the after start flow. So I will do the rest.
Okay.
And you just do the overhead panel. So you switch off the APU bleed and the APU. And then I will say ready for the flight control check.
Okay, flight control check. Right.
Full right.
5 Victor,
Yeah.
3 mile final for only 24.
Full left.
Left.
Rate 5 Victor, runway 24,
Neutral.
clear to land 126.017.
Pull up.
Full up, yeah.
Only 24, clear land for 85 Victor.
Neutral.
Pull
Full
down.
down. Neutral.
Neutral.
Rudder.
And do we test the rudders?
Yep. You do the rudder.
Okay. Rudder full left.
Full left, yeah.
Neutral. Full right.
And
Neutral.
neutral. Yeah, so no IRL, the co-pilot would do the flight control check as well. We'll leave that because we would have to do control transfer, which we're not going to do, so all good. And all clear signal has been given. Just going to check outside, make sure he's gone. Yeah, looks good. So I'll be ready for the after start checklist.
Okay, after start checklist. Go ahead.
Start. Anti-ice.
Not required.
Is off. ECAM status.
We have 3,000 initial altitude.
No. So status.
No.
So status. If you look at your ECAM, right? So you have the two fields. On the left-hand side you have now takeoff, auto brake, etc. Right? On the right-hand side you have parking brake, and then there's a divider line. And if there is anything in the status page, so any system kind of malfunction that doesn't trigger a master caution, a master warning, may be in the status page, and then it says STS in a box just below that divider line on the ECAM. Okay, so when the question comes ECAM status, you check that there's no STS being shown on the ECAM. And if it's not shown, you say you simply say checked.
We're at the Atlantic Aviation ramp.
Pitch trim.
Requesting flight following to Santa Maria.
Up 0.1. Check.
And rudder trim.
Directed 6,500.
Neutral.
Perfect. After start check is complete. Right, I'll get the clearance.
718 Delta Foxtrot Bakersfield ground departure frequency 118.8 squawk 4350.
Departure frequency 118.8, squawk 4350,
Hey, Conzi.
718 Delta Foxtrot.
3 Delta Foxtrot, you back correct? Are you ready for taxi or just need a minute there?
Well, let me go ahead and get that transponder code in and I'll be ready for taxi. I'll call you back up, 718 Delta Foxtrot.
Sounds good.
Santa Barbara ground Delta 1980 requesting taxi.
Got stepped on someone there with 37 X-ray to center maintain 2000.
maintain 2003, so next ray.
That's right, who's calling for taxi?
Delta 1980 Santa Barbara.
Delta 1980 Santa Barbara ground, runway 7, taxi via Echo, Alpha, cross runway 15 left and runway 15 right at Alpha.
Delta 1987, runway 7 via Echo and Alpha, and we'll cross 15 left, 15 right at Alpha, Delta 1980. Okay, so go straight ahead.
Take a short ground,
Skyhawk
718
Alpha,
Delta
then left,
Foxtrot, we are
clear
ready
to
for
cross.
taxi. 718 Delta
Clear right
Foxtrot, runway
side.
30 right, taxi
Clear left.
Alpha Bravo.
And at what point do we do the taxi
Right, taxi
checklist?
Alpha
New
Bravo.
subscribers should
718
now
Delta
equip their past first class. Thank you.
And Captain Teller, hello, thank you so much for the tier 1 greetings. And the flight NT, sorry for the late call out. Thank you much for the raid. Welcome. Yeah, we're doing a shared flight with our good friend SimCaesar. So SimCaesar is virtually sitting here on my left side. We don't see him, unfortunately, but he's there. He's going to fly the aircraft. So next left, Caesar. And we are cleared to cross. I'll give you the strobes for the crossing. And you asked regarding taxi checklist. Normally what happens is that we're going to wait until you get cabin ready, which we have. And then we wait until we're out of the sensitive moving area. I'll do the rest of the items for taxi. So we have radar on, the windshield system on, I'll do takeoff config test. And I'll take terrain on nav display. So clear. Strobes back in auto position. Another question, would you like to switch on off the lights, so landing light text light yourself, or shall I do it?
I'll do that.
Okay, fantastic. Good.
Taxi light is not on?
It is.
Taxi light is on.
Yeah, yeah. And I put a ton of lights on as well. Okay. Good. So now we'll be ready for a taxi checklist.
Okay, yeah, taxi checklist.
Taxi checklist. Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
2000 still established on the localizer.
Config 2.
Yeah, so what we do is we look at the MCDU performance page, and it says there flaps 2, right? And then we check the ecam page, flaps 2. So we do a check that we've set the flaps according to what we've calculated on the performance. Yep, so flaps 2. Okay. I'll repeat that. Flaps 2. Radar and predictive windshield system.
Radar and predictive windshield system are on
holding short
and auto.
30 right, ready for departure.
Engine mode selector.
718 Delta Foxtrot, Bakersfield Tower.
Engine mode selector is normal.
Right,
perfect. And eco memo.
Takeoff, no blue.
I'm so sorry, can you run that by me one more time? My headset glitched on that 718 Delta Foxtrot.
So 19.7 is going to be
runway 30 right, clear for takeoff.
Tower off. Selected tower already.
30 right, clear for takeoff.
Good. Now what we do mentally, we do a quick recap again.
718 Delta Foxtrot.
Think about the takeoff phase. So you put the thrust levers into flex MCT notch and announce takeoff. I will check the power. I will say takeoff power set. You don't have to reply anything to that. I will call out 100 knots. You will have to check the speed on your side and reply checked. And then I'll call out V1, VR, and then so on. Positive rate as you know.
YouTube channel subscriber experience.
Okay.
Could new subscribers please make their way to the first?
Yeah, so quick recap regarding departure routes. So it was going to be straight out until the FMS commands 124 track to Ephraim, then to Mission, and 12055 is going to be departure. The tower will send us over. I'm just going to pre-dial 12055 on my side. And that's it. Any questions?
Is there a trick to getting the throttles into the flex and the climb position in the TOLUS, or do you just move the throttles until they click? And
So I guess you don't have any physical hardware that has those notches.
I do not.
Okay, so you would have to, put them forward until you hear the second clicking sound.
Okay. All right.
And then what you can do also on your FMA, it should say flex.
Sure.
Yeah, it's flex 74.
So normally we line up for takeoff, and do I hold the brakes while I'm putting it into the flex position?
No, not necessarily, no.
Okay.
So I'm just checking we had air conditioning off. So once we line up, and there's a question, yes, there is a lineup checklist, which we'll read. But first of all, of course, we have to get the lineup clearance. So, Caesar, are you ready for departure?
Ready.
Santa Barbara Tower, good afternoon from Delta 1980, holding short runway 7, ready for departure.
Delta 1980, Santa Barbara Tower, the wind 130 at 6, runway 7, clear for takeoff.
Runway 7, clear takeoff, Delta 1980. Okay, so I will switch off the backs. Approach sector is clear. TCAS is on. Lineup checklist.
Lineup checklist.
Takeoff runway.
7.
7 confirmed. TCAS.
TARA.
And PAX 1 and 2.
Off.
Lineup checklist completed. So the wind is a little bit from the right, not much though. I'll start the chrono. And
37 X-ray, connect Long Beach Tower.
MT Berg, thank you much for the membership. Thank you so much.
9.437 X-ray.
Yeah, sounds good.
Long Beach Tower 763.
So now you would say man flex 74, SAS runway, auto thrust blue.
Full stop.
6337
Man flex 74.
30 clear to land wind variable at 6.
Auto thrust blue.
30
Yep.
clear to land 36 X-ray.
Thrust set. And 100 knots.
Oh, there is a bit of a crosswind. Oh, check.
E1. Rotate. Off right.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Delta 1980, connect Santa Barbara Bridge.
Over to Santa Barbara approach, Delta 98.
Dual input.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Dual input.
Right, so got to be very careful touching the flight stick here. Santa Barbara departure, good afternoon. Delta 1980, passing 1,000, climbing 3,000.
Delta 1980, Santa Barbara departure, good afternoon, radar contact, climb and maintain 8,000.
Climb maintain 8,000, Delta 1980.
Dual input.
Okay.
So now put the thrust levers 1 notch back to climb.
All right.
Yeah, it says thrust climb. And now that we're above F speed, accelerate, you could say flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Speed is checked. Flaps 1. And you would also tell me you can see read off 8,000 blue on your PFD.
8,000 blue. Oh, yes, of course.
I'll talk about the modes in a minute. Well, once we're in cruise flight. We can have a little chat about that.
3 Delta Foxtrot, connect Bakersfield departure.
Speed checks.
Contact
0.
Bakersfield departure, 718 Delta Foxtrot.
And autopilot on.
Yeah, back 2 coming on as well. Perfect. Righty.
Bakersfield departure, Skyhawk 718.
Looking good.
Delta Foxtrot with you at 2,700 and climbing.
For 718 Delta Foxtrot,
Lovely
Bakersfield
departure
departure.
out of Santa Barbara. Lovely clouds.
Sure.
That's how quickly it goes. Good.
Now that's how pros do.
Exactly.
No matter how much prep I do, it's always overwhelming.
Yeah, it is.
To do these.
The thing is, what you tend to forget.
Delta 1980 VFR traffic, 10 o'clock, 2.5 miles eastbound, altitude indicates 5,500, type unknown.
Delta 98 looking out. So, VFR traffic, 10 o'clock. We'll have a look.
negative contact.
Got the lights on, yeah.
Delta 1980 traffic, no factor, connect LA Center 135.5.
Thank you much, 135.5, Delta 1980. LA Center, good afternoon. Delta 1980 passing 7,000, climbing 8,000.
Delta 1980 LA Center, good afternoon. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb and maintain level 230, Delta 1980. Does the Zebo support shared cockpit? Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the I don't know what you'd say, but the main aircraft that the shared flight supports. I do that every Monday with Mustafa. We do shared cockpit in the Zebo.
So sorry, I just clicked on your table there. Apologies.
Stop touching things.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not used to table. Boeing aircraft don't have tables.
I'm on edge already enough as it is.
So,
I got birds flying around. I got, you know.
Taxi the ramp by Juliet 2 and Foxtrot, crossing 26 left. At Juliet 2, you can remain in this frequency. We'll see you.
I still have a feeling that the aircraft sounds for you guys are very loud. It's kind of weird that it doesn't matter how much I dial it down, you guys. Right, let me know if it's too loud and I'll try to dial it down somewhere else. Okay, so regarding Airbus and mode and initiation, it's a bit, well, it's Airbus, right? So the thing is this, it's very sensitive when it comes to the modes that you are using and the modes that are indicating, right? So one of the very first things that you get taught when you fly the Airbus is that it doesn't matter what your autopilot panel is showing you. That has absolute zero value to you, right, regarding what modes are active. The only true indication that you have which mode is controlling either the flight director or the autopilot are on your prime flight display. So far, so good. So why do Airbus pilots read out all of the modes? And every time a mode changes, we read it out. Why is that? The problem is there's no cameras in the flight deck that records what is shown on the prime flight display. And believe it or not, there's no recording system that records what is actually active on the PFD, right? So that's why the pilots have to read it out, which is then recorded on the voice recorder. And that's why you really have to, you know, get it down that you always, whenever there's a mode change on the PFD, you have to read it. And on takeoff, you always go left to right, right? So first thing that was shown was Flex 74. Then we had what was on the second? Was it? Hang on, was it? So Flex MCT or Flex 74? SRS? Yeah, it could be SRS. Yeah, SRS. And then on the third, where now it says NAV, you have runway, right? And then the last thing on the far right, you can see the auto thrust in blue. It means the auto thrust is armed. Okay.
Delta 1980, connect LA Center 133.2.
33.2 Delta 1980. And again, there's, you know, it sounds silly that we have to read all of that stuff out, but that's what you have to do. And sometimes when there's no localizer signal on the runway, so if you're taking off on a runway that doesn't have an ILS, or the ILS is switched off, then runway will not be shown on the PFD, on the FMA. So then you would only say Flex, Flex 74, SRS, auto thrust blue. Hello, Senna, good afternoon from Delta 1980, passing 180, climbing 230.
Delta 1980, LA Center, good afternoon, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain level 330, Delta 1980. And now,
So,
yeah.
Do I read back something?
Yeah, now we look at your private flight display. And what has changed? It's the flight level, 330. And we look at the vertical mode. Now the alt is in blue. So we say 330 alt blue.
330 alt blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's silly, but that's just the way Airbus wants it. And Yoda, hello, lekker.
Hola.
Hola. Thanks for the 76, Yoda. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, on Boeing aircraft now there was a change on Boeing aircraft as well, where nowadays 787, 777 you have to mostly read the modes as well. But I don't think you have to read all of them. But I would have to check in which one you can emit. But normally what I did, I just read all of the modes anyways. I mean, you know, that way I haven't forgotten anything. How does X-Plane shared flight work with comparison to your controller? In my personal opinion, shared flight is a more stable system. Oh, Captain, shall we switch off the seatbelt signs?
Oh, yes, please, release the cabin, by all means.
So now I can switch off all the lights. Oh, I forgot. I'm a bad co-pilot. I forgot to switch on the strobe lights. So, Captain, now there is a couple of things we have to do. So we set standard. Standard is clutch checked. And now that we've programmed so many things on the ground, we have to clean up the MCDU. So the pilot monitoring does that completely quiet, silently. Right. So what I will do though, I'll do it on your side. I'm going to go secondary flight plan. Copy active. Okay. So now our engine out return, or the emergency return to Santa Barbara, is now cleared, and we now have again the current routing in the secondary. Okay, that's the first thing. Then we go to flight plan, and we'll take the second, no, sorry, the third one, the white one there. Fix info, and I'm going to clear out the fix info. That was the initial engine out path. We don't need that anymore, so clear that out as well, right? And then RATNAV, we have set Santa Catalina manually, and we have to release the VOR as well. So press clear, press that on the VR1, and now auto-tuning will tune whatever VOR it needs. Okay. So these are the steps. So it's seatbelt signs, secondary flight plan, RATNAV, and fix page. Those four things have to be done. And that was that.
Okay, I understand.
Good. Yep. Apart from that, it's all flown nicely. Uh, 10 seconds should be the squared box around the mode change, if I remember correctly. I think it was 10 seconds. Would the auto-tune IRL tends to select to say, yeah, well, en route, pretty much yes, it makes sense. But the thing is that whenever you go and
ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Blackhawk Infotainment Experience.
To fight MT.
So many nice people coming into the stream today, you know, I can't resist.
Indeed. Lovely to see you all, and yeah, SimCaesar right now is doing very well. And I didn't think we'll ever see
Somebody
the day.
clip that.
I never thought we'll ever see the day that we're going to see SimCaesar and Airbus, right? So here we are.
I never thought either.
It finally happened. A shared flight in an Airbus. So SimCaesar's gone outside of his comfort zone for sure, and I'm happy to see it. And yeah, cool. And this shared flight, obviously, you know, whenever we have someone more knowledgeable on an aircraft type, you know, that person can then teach the other one very nicely, very quickly here, shared flight. And Gokpu, hello. You're the jump seat, nice. Okay, yeah, so we're not going to get nervous. We have a jump seater taking notes. Yeah, regarding auto-tune, now the thing is though, when you get towards your destination airport, auto-tuning may not select the VORs or DMEs that you want. So I would at least, if the airport that you're flying to, destination airport, has one VOR station there, I would manually tune that into the MCDU on the RATNAV page. That for one. Then I'm just looking at the temperatures and I'm like, good God, they're frying back there, but that's Fahrenheit. Yeah, 71 degrees Fahrenheit. I guess that's confirmed. Right, so that just caught me out. It's weird how sometimes your brain works, right? So you look at something and your first reaction is something's wrong, but in that split second your brain hasn't quite come to the point yet to analyze and understand what's wrong, what's different. But you know instantly something's different, and I looked at it and I thought,
Delta Foxtrot,
what's different? And okay, yeah, temperature just looked a bit off, but it's Fahrenheit, all good. Now, there's one thing. Sometimes you have to turn initially via a ILS DME indication. So what
Los Angeles Center,
you can do
718 Delta Foxtrot
in the RATNAV page on the LS, you can select the frequency manually there. Now, this is something
for 718 Delta Foxtrot,
which can get you into trouble. And the reason you do that is the following. The LS frequency will be tuned automatically by the flight management system if the runway that you're taking off actually has an ILS with a DME, right? So you would have initially an indication here on the prime flight display regarding DME. The problem is, sorry, we had 1,000 feet there, 330, and you would call out Mac Alt Star.
Oh, I would call. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you would call up Mac Alt Star. That was a mode change on the prime flight display. So we went from whatever climb, it went to Mac and Alt Star, and that's a mode change, and you would have to call that out as pilot flying.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. So the problem is that this auto tuning for the ILS gets removed after liftoff. Right, so if you need that DME distance from the ILS as a turning point indication, well, then it's going to disappear after liftoff, and then you don't have a turning point indication. So what we would do normally is manually put in the frequency there, or the identifier. That way, it doesn't get deleted automatically after liftoff. The problem is, if you forget to clear the radio nav page, just like we've done at 10,000 feet, or 18,000 feet, then that is hard programmed, meaning that on your destination approach, if you don't remember to clear it out again, it would have the old frequency tune from the departure airport. And then you're wondering at some point why you're not getting the ILS tuned. Okay, so that's a bit of a little trap. Yeah, so we could do a fuel check for sure. So I could go and have a look at the charts. Oh, it's a Lido format, I think. It's going to take me a while to find the waypoints. There we go. So we have Sierra X-Ray Charlie. We should have 10.3, and we've got 10.3. Perfect. So we have exactly the fuel we need. And we should have been here. Where's the time? And where do I find the elapsed time here on the flight plan? Such a weird format. Oh, there we go.
What format do you use?
Lufthansa.
Oh, that was a stupid question.
So then we got 15 minutes now I found it 15 minutes, and it was like 16 minutes, so we're good on time. Good on time, good on fuel. Perfect. Can you show how to manage the printer, for example, the weather? Well, I mean, yeah, so that's a good point. Let me already fix get the weather for arrival, and then the alternate airport as well. Oh, we didn't put the alternate in. Haha. So that's why the extra prediction was wrong. Hang on. So, which alternate airport do we have? We have... I have to search for it again. Alternate is...
I didn't specify an alternate.
Tucson. Right, there we go.
Tucson would be an appropriate alternate.
Yeah, so that's on the flight plan. So Tucson it is. So we put that in there on the init page, A page. And that way now we have about 15 minutes extra. Fantastic. Yeah, so let me fetch the weather as well for Tucson. So let's go AOC menu, weather. Fix that as well. Let's see if that comes back. It's meta. Right, now. So, yeah, normally when you print out the weather so that both pilots can look at it, and I'm not sure if it works in shared flight, you may have to do it yourself, Caesar. But you would normally put the weather in the middle here so that both pilots can see it, right? And so FENIX right now, 320 at 5, 10 miles. We have 25,000 scattered, 29,000 broken, beautiful weather, 28 degrees, 2997. And Tucson is got 10 miles, clear sky, 28 degrees, 3004, and also perfect weather, no wind, so very good also airport. Yeah, and the lead, so in the Lufthansa format you have to add the extra fuel yourself. So here the leader is actually better if you look at it regarding what remaining fuel you should have. Okay, Caesar, any questions from your side?
No questions. I'm just listening to you and trying to absorb everything you're doing.
Yeah, they would roll up IRL depending on how much paper you have left on the roll. Yeah, you would have to maybe straighten them out a bit. Yeah, exactly. So for example, today now, I'm gonna have a look. So that's the arrival and Hydro 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
And Drehstufpilot, hello to you as well. Thanks for the 5. Good evening.
BB711 beloved.
So I can see that Caesar has put in the ILS approach, and it's got the Hydro 1 star. Is there no VIA? Let's have a look.
I didn't put in a VIA.
Yeah, I don't know if there is, so I need to check that myself.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that also.
So, arrival, we have the Hydro 1. So the Hydro 1 for 08 takes us to, is it foul? Let's approach. No, was it?
Hydro 1 takes us to Jamel.
So Jamel, foul, or Balti? What do we need for the ILS? We need...
And the ILS... Yeah, that's not a waypoint on the ILS, so... Jamel is not a waypoint on the ILS, so...
Okay, so let me have a... Yeah, so it does give you options for the VIA, and you said, yeah, I can see I like is one of the waypoints there. Alice and yeah, I like. So I would select I like as the VIA,
okay,
because otherwise you're going to miss a couple of waypoints there.
Yeah, I understand. And so I'm going to put that into the thing here. Let me know if I'm doing this right. Arrival. So I want ILS 08.
That's already selected. If you put the right, exactly.
And then via. And I'm going to say I like.
Yeah. Exactly. So on the top, on the yellow, you can see. Yeah, have a look at for now. Yeah, so ILS 08, I like, Hyder 1 star, and transition via Blythe. So it tells you what you have selected, and if that looks good to you, then you can just either check it on the plan page as well if you wanted to, and then insert it.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah. Close that again, perfect. Yeah, excellent.
If we were on the star, then I'd have to put it into heading mode, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to check what you've just entered, Hyder 1, all the way down to Jamel. And yeah, so Jamel is here, the last transition waypoint. Right, and then from there, it'll probably be either direct to fix or get radar vectors. Good. Now, it's a short flight, so I would suggest we already check each separately, the arrival routing, so make sure that the programming is correct.
Okay.
Regarding Hyder 1.
Do we do this silently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get to that with Gold Sea. Yeah, hang on, I'll get to that in a second. It should show up here on the arrival routing in a second. And then we would see that we've made a little mistake. And that's why it's so important to check what you've programmed to make sure it all adds up.
So I like is
yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a loop in there, don't we?
Yeah, but if we requested that approach, wouldn't we get vectors before we get the Jamel?
I'm not sure, because if we get a clearance via Jamel, cleared the LS 08, then...
I see, okay.
Yeah, then since the last point is Jamel...
So,
yeah.
With that in mind, is it best to go into the flight plan and re-enter the arrival, the approach with the new VIA, or should I just delete it from the flight plan page?
For practice, let's try that. Let's see how it happens. So the thing is this.
Okay.
So this software standard is old, in the meaning that the software standards I have these days would be set up more logical, and it would already correctly link together the routing. So the issue that we have now, that we've got some flight plan discontinuity in there, and it didn't really match up the waypoints correctly. These days, it would be matched automatically most of the time. But we can try again. So let's see if we can correctly enter it this time.
Okay, so on the Boeing, I could go grab the second Jamel and just put it on top of the first, right? And that would work, but I can't do that in the Airbus.
Well, it only works through the clear button, but we can try again to see if we can get
only
it
through the clear button. So I'll remove the discontinuity, and I'll remove I like.
And then you would have to delete.
And now I've got another discontinuity.
Yeah, but now would delete the Jamel, the top Jamel first. Clear, exactly, and then clear the flight plan discontinuity.
So Kagor to Jamel, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And before Kagor
and
is
4,000 at at Jamel, that's correct.
Yeah.
So insert.
Yeah. Yes, check.
Okay. Would that be the correct way to do it, IRL, or would you go back to and re-enter the approach from scratch?
Yeah, you could do it this way. I don't see an issue with it as long as you check the routing and all the waypoints are in the correct sequence, and also that the restrictions are still matched and correct.
718 Delta Foxtrot, connect
That's one
Santa
thing.
Barbara
Now,
approach 124.15.
the other idea would have been to see if we can actually select
Contact. I'm so sorry, my GPS window just completely
approach to the
closed.
star,
Give me a second to write
the
that
via
down.
and the transition, and if it then matches up. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to
What was that frequency again?
mess up your. So I'm a bad co-pilot. Okay.
124.15.
Oh, Captain, sorry. Oh no. I've just messed up your right.
Santa Barbara approach
I'm sorry.
124.15. 718
So
Delta
now
Foxtrot.
try
Thank you so much.
to do the whole process, but as you would
Delta
normally prepare.
1980, connect LA Center 124.62.
24.62 Delta 1980. So now try again with with flight plan, destination, ILS 08, arrival routing, to see if we can get it programmed more elegantly that way.
718 Delta Foxtrot, Santa Barbara approach. Good afternoon, Santa Maria altimeter 3012.
This via. So Jamel is not an initial approach fix, so it doesn't appear on here.
Okay, so
I would have to put I like. That's our only option.
Okay, let's enter that. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I like, and then hider 1, and then we'll insert that. And select heading track first. All right.
LA Center, good afternoon. Delta 1980 level 330.
Delta 1980 LA Center, good afternoon.
So now it's got Jamel and then I like and the discontinuity and the other Jamel down here. So
yeah, so it's done the same thing again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me first. We're tracking towards
11683
right?
General Clearance. What is your aircraft type?
Go and press the direct key, please.
683, Roger. After departure, fly heading 150.
What are we
radar below 2,400. Departure frequency 128.1.
Shouldn't that be here on my waypoint list?
Let's have a look.
I don't see it anywhere on the waypoint list.
That's interesting.
Should I enter it manually?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Frequency is 128.1, squawk 1671.
Okay.
And then press the. Actually, now it's the nav again. Okay, now we're happy. Okay, good. That's all I wanted to see. So I have a feeling that.
1683, read back correct.
But we still have this discontinuity and this mess over here.
Yeah, so that's why it doesn't automatically understand. It has to delete that double waypoint outright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select again FENIX, arrival, ILS 08. We have the hider 1, transition, and the Blythe. But this time I'm going to put approach via, no via. Okay. So now let's have a look at what we get. Swoon, Hyder, Gila, Punt, etc. Fargo, Jamil. So now let's insert that. Let's, can you put heading track first, please?
Okay.
Okay. And
Done.
Now you can press again on heading bug. So press on heading bug to get back to nav.
Oh, do I have to select a direct first?
Well, if it's close enough to the path, it shouldn't be. Well, you can try again. Direct to Blythe.
Okay, because pressing it forward doesn't do anything.
Yeah, normally it would do that. But just go direct Blythe.
Okay.
PLH. Yeah, the thing is, and exactly that's the problem, right? Because on the older systems, you had this problem, and then these deviations occurring, right? Especially in crowded airspaces that can lead to issues, separation issues. That's why I think the aircraft manufacturer or the FMS manufacturer will then forced to do something to build a logic into those systems that they would do the automatic sequencing correctly. And like I said, these days I've never really seen any bigger issues when you do it that way. So the only correct way here to toll this, unfortunately, Caesar, is if you see that one of these waypoints is double, meaning it's not sequencing correctly, try to do it without the via, and then it should match up correctly.
Okay, I see that everything looks good.
So now, yeah, it's closed, and it should now sequence correctly from Kagor, Jamil 4000, and then Waza.
Okay. Destination data. This is always I'm always not quite sure that I'm doing this right.
Well, you could tell me to get the ATIS. Okay, so I'll get. I'll get.
I don't know if we'll get it this far out, but give it a try.
Well, I'm going to get my Navigraph.
I see. Oh, right. Okay. All right.
So we'll go flights. We'll go to FENIX, weather, PilotEdge weather, information Charlie. So I can tell you now the altimeter setting is 2993.
Okay.
Temperature, it says here's 29 degrees. And the wind is variable 4 knots. So I would just put in 000 diagonal 4. It doesn't have any influence on the approach speed. Plus for me it's a reminder, if I see 0, I know it's variable.
Okay.
Good, so we have arriving 7 right and runway 8. Yeah, and that's it. Information Charlie.
And the baro and radio, do you put those in?
Yeah, so same thing like on the Boeing aircraft. So if I look at the ILS minimum, it's 1368, so we round up to the next 10 feet. So it would be 1370 baro.
Okay. And you prefer that over radio?
Well, for us, we always put in baro as long as we fly a non-precision or Cat 1 ILS. And as soon as you go to category 2 or category 3 approaches, then it will be radio.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And the next thing you would have to think about is, are you going to do a config 3 or config full approach? For that, it is advisable to do the landing calculations. Maybe with both. So first config full, look at the required or factored distance, then do 3. Check again on the predicted landing distance, it's called here.
Roll 1683, John ground, turn your transponder on.
And then you can decide which setting you want. No.
Okay, so should I do the...
Yeah, sorry, it's just a question here on the stream. Yeah, go ahead.
Should I do the landing performance calculation in the EFB?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So, runway 8.
1683, runway 20 left, taxi Alpha Kilo.
No, Abimar, there's no influence until you get to 15 knots headwind component. Right. That's, it's always a third of the inserted...
Delta 1980, cross Skull at and maintain flight level 250.
Ladies and gentlemen,
cross Skull and maintain at flight level 250.
New subscribers should now pick up their past first class.
Okay, so it's got 250 in there already. So I should dial in 250 now on the MCP.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then at what point before the top of descent do you normally push it?
Yeah, so good question. First of all, I'm just going to check that you have the wind data inserted, because that's really very important. So I don't have any cruise wind in here. Let me just change that 275 at 35. And a big thank you to Alpino for the 3 months. Hello to you.
Great Delta Foxtrot radar service terminated.
So now we get the
VFR,
white
connect Santa Maria Tower
top of descent
118.3.
arrow. And if you press on the alt button now, after you've inserted 250, it would start to descend at 1,000 feet per minute. So press it, please, so I can show you what's happening.
Okay. That I understand. I'm just curious, normally, at what point do you press it?
718 Delta Foxtrot, Santa Maria Tower, enter a right base, runway 30, report
you
2
can
miles.
wait until you get to the top of descent, if you wanted to. Now, IRL, I can only what do we do in IRL? IRL, the problem is that the FMS calculates a quick descend right away, so it doesn't really match up with what the aircraft is actually doing. So what you would have is that the aircraft would start descending, but immediately be above the profile, right? Then the flight management system says, oh, I'm above the profile, and it kind of really dips down quite harsh. So there's a more elegant way to do it, the way we just did it, where 10 miles maybe ahead of the top of descent arrow or the top of descent point, we would press the alt button, and now you can see it's descending at 1,000 feet per minute. And on your nav display, you're going to see a cyan lightning arrow.
Yes.
That is the point where, with the current descent rate of 1,000 feet per minute, we will hit the optimum descent path. So on the altimeter scale, you see on the top there, 16, 15, that's counting down. And there's going to be a green little dot next to the altimeter scale as it scales down, correct?
Right.
So you will see that we are now slowly getting towards the optimum path. And now, since the ground speed is about almost 500 knots, a 3-degree profile descent would mean we would have to do about 2,500 feet per minute, correct? So since we're only doing 1,000, we're now getting towards the optimum path, and we're going to cut it exactly at that blue lightning arrow there on the nav display. And once we hit that with the aircraft symbol, you will see the aircraft goes into idle power and now tries to follow that green dot on the vertical scale. And it should be about 2,500 feet per minute, maybe 2,400 with that wind, as long as the ground speed stays that way. Right.
Welcome aboard the Captain Blackbird's Twitch channel subscriber
So
experience.
it's more a question of how elegant you want to start your descent.
Great Delta Foxtrot, roger, wind 02016, gust 20, runway 30, clear line.
Scotty Doughty, thank you so much for 59. Big shout out, guys.
I am curious what you have given your captain today. He's far too calm compared to his normal shrieking like a schoolgirl and screaming help.
No, I'm trying to keep him relaxed today. There'll be more chances, at a later stage to.
Believe me, I'm screaming like a schoolgirl inside.
All right. Good. So now the thing is that Airbus, so the A320 is one of those aircraft that makes pilots lazy if they're not careful, right? So the problem is that it's doing everything so nicely, right? So lovely and relaxed and smoothly. The problem is you have to still look at your instruments. Right? Make sure you have your speed reductions there. We have to be 250 at SCOL. We have to reach that, and currently we have the blue prediction arrow and the magenta level because there's a restriction from the routing itself. So that's lined up exactly with SCOL, so we're good. We have about 1,500 feet to go. So know that we are going to make this restriction, and that's now you're in the monitoring role. Boeing doesn't like to allow their pilots to dial in. Let's say we get cleared, descend via the what's it called again? The Hyder 1 arrival. Now that clearance would mean we would descend down to the lowest altitude that's charted, right? So FAL goes 6,000 and then KGOR 5,000. So we would be allowed to be dialing in 5,000 there, which Boeing doesn't like to do, right? So Boeing tells their pilots, even if you're cleared for a descent star, you should always put in the next restricted altitude in the autopilot panel. Right. Good. So but here on Airbus is fine with it. Airbus trusts their autopilots and their pilots, so you can do that accordingly. And then all you do is monitor that the autopilot is actually, respecting all those speed.
Delta 1980, connect Albuquerque Center 128.45.
28.45, Delta 1980. Albuquerque Center, good afternoon.
Have a
Delta
lovely evening,
1980,
Goldsy.
250. Oh, hang on. Was it 3.2? Or there's something that's just yeah, listen, sorry again, Delta 1980. Could you confirm the frequency again, please?
Delta 1980, 128.45.
28.45. Appreciate that. Thank you much, Delta 1980. Not sure what happened there. Why it didn't.
Great Delta.
I don't know.
Taxi Alpha to the ramp for me, Mr.
There we go. Now that's it. Albuquerque. Good afternoon. Delta 1980. Flight level 250.
Delta 1980 Albuquerque Center. Good afternoon. Descend via the Hatter 1 arrival. Phoenix landing east. Report leaving. Flight level 250.
Yeah. Okay, so understood. Delta 1980 descend via the Hyder 1, runway 8 would be appreciated in Phoenix. And say again, what was that with level 250?
Delta 1980, disregard that. Phoenix altimeter 29903.
Okay, 2993, and we are maintaining currently 250, and we'll descend via the Hyder 1, Delta 1980. Hey, Pete.
All right, what do we got? We're coming up on Sonora. We need to be below 220. So our bottom altitude on the arrival is 4,000 feet. So I'll just put that in there.
Correct.
And then push.
Perfect. And now you say?
Thrust idle descent alt nav.
That's 50%. So it will be thrust idle descent and 40 blue.
Oh, 40 blue. Okay.
Yeah. Because we're still on standard right now, so that's why it's not showing 4,000. But yeah, 40 blue. Perfect. All right. Cool. Good. So landing performance. Oh, let's see. I'm just going to be sure that I'm not missing questions. I'm sorry if I'm missing questions, but anyway.
Alaska 960, contact Select Center 128.72.
Yeah, so Jacob, the Airbus has fixed these things
2872 Alaska 960
in the real aircraft, but not here in the TOLUS, obviously. TOLUS is a bit behind there. I'm doing well, Pete. Hope you do. Pete, are you going to be in Lelystad next month?
Salt Lake City Center, good afternoon. Alaska 960 with you, level 370.
Okay, so performance
Alaska
landing.
960, Select Center.
What landing flap setting would you like?
I think we'll go with full.
Okay.
I put the performance calculations into here.
And so what do you get as a result?
Where does it tell me landing config full? Okay. Landing config full, approach speed 133, landing distance 4655.
Yeah, I just have a slightly
Is that all
higher.
correct?
Yeah, so required again is the absolute minimum. That's that's certified. Now normally we would add 15% on the required landing distance. Now for some reason TOLUS here does it differently. They have a predicted landing distance, so it tells us, predicted is automatic low 7,934 feet, which is still plenty. It still gives us 2,600 feet margin. So I would say the same. 29 degrees is hot. So to avoid hot breaks, I mean, TOLUS always get hot breaks anyway, but normally IRL you would avoid hot breaks by by having config full and autopic low. I think that's a good combination. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a gate to park at in Phoenix.
It was terminal. Oh yeah, Delta. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go somewhere on terminal 3, I think. Right. Should be fine. So after landing, let's have a quick look here. Airport. Let's go airport infos. So we're landing 8, right turnoff. Yeah, and then to the apron. So taxiing is not very complicated at all. Yeah, somewhere north side of Terminal 4, I would suggest.
Okay.
That's easiest.
Terminal 4, you think?
Yeah, it's easiest. Because the other one, Terminal 3, was for JetBlue and so on. So that I did check. Right, next window is Hyder below 190 and above 15,000. So we're coming up 18,000. Shall we switch to 2993? Oops. .2993. So altimeter 293 is set on my side.
And you could turn on the seatbelt sign.
Yes, sir. Good. No, so Jacob, that's not in the philosophy of normal operations.
November 5 Delta Sierra once established
So
on the
orbit
localizer,
low,
contact tower 119.9er.
you always select initially, right? And that way, you know that initially auto brake will activate. You're going to activate the reverse thrust, and then once that's all there, then you are assured, so the braking force is there, you are assured you're not wasting any runway. Because there have been instances, I guess, in the past where they didn't apply any auto brake, so they didn't test the brakes, right? They landed, they had the spoilers come out, they activate the reversers, and then later they tried, they've already passed half of the runway, and then they realized the brakes are not working. Okay, so the whole philosophy is initially to check that everything's there available, and then if you say, my next taxiway, is far along the runway, then you can kick out the auto brake. That's fine. Right? But initially, always auto brakes on. Delta is Terminal 3. Thanks, Pram. And Banan, hello to you. Cool. All right, next limitation is Gila between 11 and 17 and speed to 50. Perfect. Good. Briefing.
Delta 1980, contact Phoenix approach 128.65.
128.65, Delta 1980. Oh, you see, it doesn't do that sometimes. 128.65. So we had information, John. Phoenix approach, good afternoon, Delta 1980, descending via the Hyder 1, passing 13,800, information, Charlie.
Delta 1980, Phoenix approach, good afternoon. Phoenix altimeter 2993, expect visual approach 118.
2993, altimeter and expecting visual 8, Delta 1980. Okay, thanks, Pam. All right, so briefing. Let's see what can do.
Briefing.
Briefing, approach briefing. So, I would brief you the arrival. So we're descending via the Hyder 1 arrival with the transition to the ILS 8. Sector highest is 6,200 in the northeast. West side is 5,800. South side 4,800. So
Colorado
7,000 definitely safe. Oh, that's
565 Delta Sierra is established on the localizer on 3.
ILS approach runway 8 is planned, or visual approach, but we've entered the ILS approach.
35 right.
And I can see the approach minimum is 1370. Correct. And go around would go straight ahead, 3,000 feet. and then left turn to 5000 on heading 280 outbound FENIX VOR 336 radial to event intersection to hold. So initially 3000, then left turn, intercept the outbound, incline 5000. Alright, cool. Extra fuel currently, it says we have about 56 minutes extra fuel currently. And then you would tell me how we're going to fly the approach. So
Delta 1980 Phoenix approach, how do you read?
Phoenix approach 1980, reach loud and clear.
Delta 1980 Phoenix approach, how do you hear me?
Phoenix Delta 1980, I reach you 5. Can you still hear me? Caesar?
I can hear you.
Okay, for some
I
reason.
hear you responding.
Let's have a look for the frequencies.
Delta 1980 Phoenix approach, how do you read?
Delta 1980, reach you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Huh. Did you change anything?
Nope. Didn't touch anything.
That was odd.
Yeah, that's
huh.
weird.
There might have been something on her end.
Yeah, probably. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you would just say, you're going to fly the approach ILS-08 with flaps full. Config.
Delta 1980, I wasn't able to reach you on the COM 1. This is calling on guard.
We don't even have guard activated, do we? It's on standby.
Okay, so Phoenix approach now on guard. Delta 1980, how to read me?
Delta 1980, hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so we have 12865 selected on COM 1, but it seems like you're not hearing us there. Just wondering, let me just switch that. Okay, do me a favor, can you dial in on your end 12865 on...
Delta 1980, stand by.
I have 128.65 active on my side.
Okay.
On your side, active as 121.5.
Yeah, so it is selected. It's just you didn't see it because I did a kind of cross switch, which is done in IRL, where I select on my RMP VHF1, and that's why you can't see the 115 on my side.
I see.
But it is tuned in the background, if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling as well that she's got issues with the radios.
Yeah. And now I see 12865 on your side active.
Yeah. And if I go to VR2, it's on VHF2. It's 115. So that's correct. Okay. Yeah, Jacob, I think so. I think the other controller would have told me if my microphone was too quiet. So I hope we're not getting lost comms here. So 7,000 is the next limit. Tesla, okay, all good. Done that.
Maybe do a radio check not on guard?
Yeah, well, she's at standby. I'll give her a few more seconds. So we've been cleared.
All right.
The arrival, so the last waypoint that we're cleared to is Jamil, correct?
Yeah. Just coming up pretty quick here.
And Phoenix approach again from Delta 1980, a radio check.
Delta 1980, you're loud and clear. Contact Phoenix approach 120.4.
120.4, thank you, Delta 1980. Right, there we go. Phoenix approach, Delta 1980, hello, with you, passing 7,700, descending 4,000.
Delta 1980, Phoenix approach, thank you.
Well, I should have said descending.
And,
I don't know. Okay.
When's a good time for flaps 1?
Ooh, we're still 20 miles out, so it's a bit far out, really.
Okay.
So 210 knots. As long as we can fly the restriction, so 210, we can fly that currently with green dots, that's fine.
I see.
The only thing that we're missing is, so we should have been 6,000 at, correct? So we're a bit high in the approach, so I would use speed brakes.
Delta 1980, airport about 12 o'clock. 5 miles with flight still in sight.
Okay, runways inside, Delta 1980. Yeah, so to add a bit drag.
Delta 1980, thank you. Clear visual, approach runway 8. Contact tower 118.7.
Visual 8, so we cleared the visual runway 8 and we'll contact tower 18.7 Delta 1980. Hope that's okay for you. So
yes.
Even though that we cleared visual, we can still use the ILS signals.
Okay.
And so I would go...
Let's see.
Colorado Springs Tower, 565
yeah,
Delta Sierra
you
is
can
on
get
the
the speed brakes back in again if you like.
Number 565 Delta Sierra, entity moves position established. Contact
And then I would
approach button on now?
You can, that's fine.
Do I need to activate the approach in the FMC?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So it will intercept the ILS. The only thing it should do that automatically anyways. So it has activated approach phase automatically now. Good. LS is on. We're a bit high, 1 dot high, so I would start configure the aircraft.
Okay, let's flaps 1.
Yep, speed is checked. Flaps 1. Phoenix Tower, good afternoon, Delta 1980, visual runway 8.
Delta 1980, Phoenix Tower, wind variable 4, runway 8, land.
Runway 8, clear land, Delta 1980. Good, so I can see that we're getting a bit higher now. We're still above the safe speed for flaps 2, or the max speed for flaps 2, so I would put the gear down.
75 Delta Sierra Springs.
Okay, let's put gear down.
Gear down. And now,
I think I'm going to
if you really fancy,
back in for 5 Delta Sierra.
I would go manual flight and flight directors off.
Okay.
No, you give me a vector back to Drake, and then I'm going to try it again. I think I
So
had my weather
pilot off.
too low.
And flight directors off.
Climb it at 900,000 for 5 Delta Sierra.
And now we're safe for flaps 2.
Okay, flaps 2.
Speed is checked. Oops, flaps 2. And I would also go if you like. Well, I don't know. Do you want to auto thrust on or off landing?
Oh, this was a big question I was going to ask you, and it's too late to ask now. We'll leave it on because that's what I'm used to.
Okay, so I would go with flaps 3 now.
Okay, flaps 3.
Let's check flaps 3, and we're getting very high.
I see that.
So about 1,000 feet high. So I would just increase descent rate.
2,500.
And we can go flaps full anytime as well.
Okay, flaps full.
Speed check flaps full. Use the brake low. I'll help you out a bit. So let's do the checklist. Approach checklist. Our ref was 2993 set. Lights look coming back in. Fantastic. Seatbelts are on.
2,000.
Minimum baro 1370 set. Auto brake is low. And engine mode selector is normal. Cabin is ready. Yeah, 1 dot high. Fantastic. If you just keep it coming down a bit. And now even out the center rate a bit so we can bleed off some airspeed so that we're stable at 1,000 feet. That's it. Perfect. Beautiful approach. Look at that stadium. Nice. Whenever you're ready.
What do you need now? What do I need now?
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist.
So 1,000 feet check. Landing checklist. Economy landing no blue. And you say landing no blue as well.
Landing no blue.
Good. So slightly low now on my side. Slightly low.
Okay, correcting.
And then now you're going to fly with auto thrust on for now. And then all you're going to do, we're clear to land, is when it says retard, you pull the thrust levers to idle. That's all you're going to do.
Okay.
And that will kick out the auto thrust.
500.
Nice. Look at that.
100 above. 400.
Okay, good. Wind is calm.
Minimum.
would say continue.
Continue.
Slightly lower on my
200.
side.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard, 5, retard.
All good. Spoilers.
Reversers.
Reverse green, decel. Brake lower, you would say. Actually, I would say brake lower. Right.
Okay.
Center line. Center line.
I'm exactly on the center
Okay,
line
so we
on
have
my side.
mismatching. Yeah, okay, we have mismatching scenery then. Okay, that's so that can always happen, that we have different sceneries and a bit of mismatch. But you just go taxi on your side to whatever you have. Right, 6 knots past.
Okay.
And ground is 1975.
Delta 1980, which terminal are we parking?
Parking at Terminal 3, Delta 1980.
Good text to terminal via Bravo Charlie, Narrow 1 Delta 75, day.
Okay, I just Bravo Charlie, Terminal 3 and 1975 monitor, Delta 1980. What a timing. Who did that? Aviamar. Right, let's see.
Did you tell her Terminal 3?
Yeah. So Bravo Charlie, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
So Bravo, then Charlie, and then Terminal 3, and then 1970.
Is this Terminal 3 directly on my right?
And a bit further down.
I think...
Oh. Now I'm on the taxi line with you. Lol. Not synchronized though.
So... Alright, I'm confused now about where Terminal 3 is.
12 o'clock.
Am I headed the right way?
You're heading perfectly the right way.
Okay.
Well, that took a while to synchronize. Yeah, if you go left side anywhere, that's fine.
Delta
Okay.
1980, Phoenix ground. Looks like Delta's parking south side of Terminal 3. Continue taxi via Sierra Delta.
Okay, that's fantastic. Sierra Delta South Side Terminal 3. Copy it, Delta 1980. Okay,
So Terminal 3 is off to my right.
Yeah, just straight ahead. Did you say... I said 4, right? But now she says we should park at 3. Okay, well, she checked.
So I think we agreed on 4, but then I think you told her we were going to 3 when you...
Oh, really? Did I say 3?
When we pulled off? Or maybe she told us Terminal 3.
Diamond 5 Delta Sierra. Turn
Yeah, but
right,
the thing is that I couldn't hear really...
160.
I did say 3, okay, maybe that... Oh, that's good.
Right
I couldn't hear my own thinking with that panic scream going on in the background there. So.
I just was attacked by a huge flock of birds.
Me too, so even that was synchronized. Crazy. Okay, so Sierra then right, Terminal 3. Yeah, south side. Okay, cool. So if you go down to the next intersection, then turn right. We should be fine. In the meantime,
Okay.
I'll do the rest of the items here. Yeah, it's interesting, always interesting how at the end it does get really hectic. Always. So there's always so many things to discuss. Yeah, and they said it couldn't be done.
Oh.
A bit speedy around the corner, Captain. Are we in a hurry?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so my bad. I did say 3 then. Okay, I meant 4. I said 3. Yeah, it goes to show that on these short flights, you get behind the aircraft so quickly, and then it is a fast jet, and the Neo with the LEAP engines or the Pratt & Whitney engines, they are a lot more powerful, and then so it's not uncommon to get high in the profile if you're not careful. And then there was a bit of hiccup with the communications. But yeah, we mentioned. So the idea is, if you find yourself too high in the approach, and you're still like 3,400 feet above the ground, then it is a good idea to start getting out some flaps in gear, reduce the speed, so you reduce your ground speed, and then as you are higher up, you can descend more aggressively. So if you're already only about 2,000 feet off the ground, your descent rate is limited to 1,500 feet per minute. Yeah, we have a mismatching scenery, guys, don't worry.
Oh.
So you're limiting yourself to the options that you have, right? But yeah, you know, get the gear out. If you're unsure, get the gear out and you know, add a drag to get the speed out. Good. We have the APU available. Here comes the APU bleed, ready for engine shutdown, Captain. And that's your item.
Oh. Engine shutdown.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Oh, hang on.
What's that?
Keith says, remember when you said maybe 1 day failure to both pilots at the start of the stream? Oh, don't tell me that was a played loss of communications there.
I didn't think that PilotEdge could send it to the observer.
Yeah.
But you got birds on after we landed, huh?
Yeah, but so it's not. But I think it's the lost communications maybe that that they simulated. I'm not sure. So that way we went to. We're lucky enough. I mean, at least we're lucky enough that. And the birds really. Yeah, he's saying the comms and the birds. Interesting. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's something. I'm just asking a question myself. So the birds indicating, right? Yeah. So currently, Keith, the problem exactly. That's the thing. So right now, and I've told Jason to have a look at it. So the failures aren't synced. I mean, what I could try again to see if anything has changed. If I go into keyboard and I want to put in failure. So operation failure. Let's go shared cockpit. So yeah, so that's ARM, that's X, and there should be transmit of sync systems. Okay, so that should be X. So I'm going to do the following, SimCaesar, just don't be scared. I'm going to give you ground power. So external power is available. And then I'm going to try and give us a APU fire. And the thing is, so if they have fixed that, if I go X, so I've pressed X. Are you getting APU fire warning?
No. No change.
Okay, so that's the thing. So the synchronization of these failures just doesn't seem to work right now. Yeah. Yeah, and I think, so Keith, I think I heard on a different platform sometime, I heard that they want to restrict information about the data refs in the TOLUS. But I would have to check that. So I'm going to have to ask JSNAP again to see what's happening there. Yeah, why they can't get that fixed. Because that was actually one of the key features I was really looking forward to, you know, using TOLUS with shared flight, to be able to implement failures on both sides, so that synchronize on both sides. Otherwise, it doesn't really make any sense here on the A320 because of the checklists, right? No, it shouldn't really matter who's the host, Jacob. It should sync, so the X or the if you have a button mapped to that failure, then it should synchronize. It doesn't matter who's the host. I tried it last time.
I had a situation in the Zebo. I wonder if the Zebo is different because a couple of weeks ago, someone from PilotEdge, with our permission, failed one of the generators, and it failed for both of us.
Yeah.
And we were in the Zebo. So, but But maybe that was what Keith said. They manually failed each connection instead of just failing one and then it synced. So I don't know which was the case, but we had a generator fail in flight triggered by PilotEdge, and we both got it. So
that's cool, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing with the the synchronization, and as long as Taulus doesn't get out the data refs for that, then at the moment at least it's not synchronizing. But I have to ask Jason up again how things are going there. Hopefully they can get that fixed. Nice. Keith, it was lovely seeing you here as well. Thank you so much. And so feedback. Although let's do the items first. So we've got beacon off, seatbelts go off, APU is extinguished. Well, hang on. Yeah, let's say it's extinguished. Transponder is off. Radar PWS should have been off after landing, but we were busy. So parking checklist, parking brake or chocks. You can say parking brake set. And then we have engines. Would be off.
Off? Am I supposed to be responding?
Yes.
Sorry. And then I'm sitting here watching your stream, so I'm just
no. So then
I'm kind of I went to observer mode there. Sorry.
No worries. And then fuel pumps
off.
Perfect. That's the parking checklists completed.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. So Keith. Yeah. I mean, regarding CRM and coordination, it's always a bit difficult when you're still in the learning process, right? And SimCaesar obviously is doing a great job with the aircraft, so he's learned a lot about the aircraft. But yeah, it's always a bit much, and then having to explain. But as things progress, and as Caesar gets more proficient with these aircraft, then you do tend to see the way CRM and the crew coordination concept really helps to distribute the workload. And I always say it's like a good football team. So when a football team is working together in a perfect manner, everything just runs so smoothly, right? The same is I remember Malindley here. He was actually granted access in the flight deck for landing on one of my flights, and then he was, he's very knowledgeable on the Airbus, and so he was watching, and then the first thing he said after the flight, he was like, it was incredible to see, to just observe how you two work together, how quickly things just happened, and without saying much, buttons were being pressed, and it was just so nicely orchestrated, right? Everything was just so smooth, and that's just it. That's the whole profession of getting everything together. And that way it works the same, or it's a absolute must have if you are running complex abnormals. So a good sim mission, so when you have a very demanding situation with some abnormal, and you know immediately if things are going well is if things are running smoothly. And one of the weird things, I remember when I was learning to fly on the Airbus, and after a while, I would, at the beginning I had a feeling I was always talking. Talking, checklist, briefings, right? And I was like, good God, is there no break anywhere, right? And then the check captain said, well, give yourself a few more weeks and months, right? And after a while, you notice how you are getting more proficient. You're able to solve these tasks quicker, and then you will have these little breaks in between. And it was exactly that. It came to a point where we handled the abnormal, and then we're flying. It was quiet. It was silent in the flight deck. And not just for 1 minute, but like 2-3 minutes, complete silence. Because there was nothing to say. Everything's, everybody's doing their duties, and there was no need to communicate, right, in that moment. And I was like, darn, if it's too quiet, you're missing something. So I always had a bad feeling. I thought, I'm missing something now. But then the instructor said, no, it's great to see everything just running so smoothly, because then, both pilots are, working perfectly together, right? And it's nice if you can get that experience on a shared flight like we did today. Two people knowledgeable about the aircraft, nicely synced up, if you like, and knowing exactly when they have to do what, right?
Yeah, well, I'm about 50-50. I'm trying to both advance my skills in the Airbus and advance my skills in the cockpit crew coordination. So it's a lot. It's like 2 college courses you're taking simultaneously.
Absolutely.
So it's a bit overwhelming.
And the thing is, it's something I always have to tell myself when I'm flying with friends here on shared flight. Is it's hard for me kind of to take myself back to try to see the world, the flight sim world or the aviation world through the eyes of someone who doesn't have the experience that I have. Because, like you said, there's so many things you have to compute, right, at the same time, and then these jets are fast, and it's just something which, if you grow up slowly, so you have your single prop, dual prop, maybe turboprops, small jets, then the big jets, you have a slow increase in the speed of the aircraft, right? And now in the flight sims these days, we can jump into the fastest plane straight away, right? And so obviously, the complexity of these add-ons though is pretty much equal to the real world aircraft, right? So, and then we're flying mostly single pilot concept as well. So there's a lot of things that move very fast, and you have to try, as we say, we always try to stay ahead of the aircraft. You don't want to get in a situation where the aircraft is flying you, meaning the aircraft is like 5, 6, 10 miles ahead of you, right? That's bad, right? Because then you really have to try to increase your speed to get up to the aircraft again, and maybe ahead of the aircraft. So that's a difficulty, really. But yeah, I think like I said, Caesar, you're always very, very keen to learn the correct procedures and learn how to use these systems. And so I think you did very well with the 320 today.
Oh, I can't wait to do it again.
Sure.
As overwhelming as that was, looking forward to next time.
Yeah. So what was nice to see today is that performance was good. I quite enjoyed fairly smooth performance, visuals, lovely approach.
X-Plane 12.4 is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And so also the shared flight app worked nicely. But
although I will say, I'm watching the replay of the landing on stream, and I was straight down the center line, but I see on the stream that I wound up in the ditch over there.
The thing is,
like completely off the runway.
Yeah, the question is, do you have a freeware scenery or the payware scenery?
I might have the freeware scenery. I thought I had payware for FENIX and X-Plane, but probably not. Maybe not.
No, I have the freeware.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
so
I have the freeware as well. Maybe I have a different freeware to you have.
I might have a payware version actually. My terminal looks pretty good. Yeah. So obviously we have different sceneries.
Yeah. So maybe
but it was strange because I touched down, everything looked in the center of the right, on the center line, and then as the rollout was happening, I seemed to veer off to the right on your screen. Yeah. On my screen, I was still tracking straight. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah. So maybe next time we just make sure that we have the same sceneries to avoid the mismatch, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not sure it was a scenery issue because when I touched down, I was on your screen. I saw that I was on the center of the runway, but then it was on the rollout is where it started veering off. So.
Yeah, but maybe the data ref on my side was like, my scenery, maybe I have an old runway track or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So,
Well, that's good. We'll do that for sure.
Yeah.
I'll try to. We'll try to coordinate that better next time.
Yeah. Maybe that will help. Cool. Hey, Yanis. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely up for more shared flights in the future. And then yeah, we'll see. I'll get in contact with JSNAP and see if we can get some of these failures synchronized. Not trying to overwhelm you, Caesar. Don't worry. Just as a matter of demonstrating maybe some things.
For next time, I did want to talk to you a little bit about. Well, for next time, about the throttle issue and the auto throttle and my understanding is some SOPs say you leave the auto throttle in till it says retard, and some SOPs say no, you take you go manual throttle when you're on final. So
yeah, I mean, for our airline, it was manual flight, manual thrust on all the company aircraft. British Airways, that's an airline I know that they leave the auto thrust in until touchdown, so until the auto thrust is called out as retard, and then you put the thrust levers to idle, and that kicks out the auto thrust automatically, which is nice. So it depends on what you feel more comfortable with, to be honest.
Initially, I would have felt more comfortable with manual throttle because that's the way it is in the Boeing, But then as people told me, well, no, just leave the auto throttle in, and then when it says retard, then just pull the throttle to idle, and so that's the way I started doing it, and that's the way I've been doing it. But I'd like to be able to do it, both ways. And
yeah,
so
if you pilot flying, it's up to you. I'm not going to say you have to do one or the other. For me, I've always found that you always reference yourself to pitch and power, and so So if I have manual thrust, then I know I always have to check the power that I'm setting, right? So it's more from the scan, the way I'm doing my scan in the flight deck, with airspeed, power, pitch, and so on. I'm not sure how that would develop if I always had auto thrust on. I think I would get lazy and maybe not check the power that often, right? So I'm not sure. I'm not saying which is better. I'm just saying I've learned, to fly, hand fly, everything, including auto thrust. So that way I have a very good kind of scan with pitch and power.
Yeah, it just feels more natural to me as a private pilot with a single engine land to be manipulating the throttles on final, and because even if you leave the auto throttle in, there's like a different set of things you have to think about, like does it have approach speed set correctly? Is it actually flying at that approach speed? Is it doing what it's supposed to, basically? And so that's a different set of things you need to worry about. Anyway.
Exactly. But I said, next time, I just didn't want to overload you today, because we're busy in the final approach there. I just wanted you to have, concentrate on flying the approach correctly. But yeah, next time maybe try to plan ahead and then make a decision on auto thrust on or off.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the questions.
Great.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
this is fantastic.
Just looking at some questions there. Let's see. Just going to try Relops, see if we can offload some stuff here. We'll have deboarding, catering. Let's see. All right. Yeah, and I think whenever I'm doing shared flights, what I find just really cool is the fact that if you distribute the workload correctly, so you have pilot flying and pilot monitoring, and just alone the pilot monitoring doing ATC for you is just so cool, right? It just relaxes you so much more. Because if you're flying single pilot concept in these jets, on a network, especially, trying to do everything yourself, it's just a lot. It just takes, it does wear you out really, really quickly, right? So to have that being, you know, distributed between two people there, love it.
Yeah, I will say flying first officer is much much easier for me, because then I really only need to learn to focus on what do I need to do for the crew coordination. You know, the rest of it, like flying the airplane in autopilot modes and all that stuff, I don't have to focus on that. You know, I just kind of observe and learn if I can. But in the left seat, I'm trying to learn both things at the same time. You know, what do I call out here? What do I set this to? You know, and so yeah, it's kind of a big load sitting in the left seat there.
So I mean, next time, I mean, if we find a time for maybe 2 flights, like, you know, 2 1-hour flights or something, then, you know, I can start out as pilot flying, and then yeah, you can see, you know, how I'm doing things, and then on the return, then you can be pilot flying.
Sure. All
helps.
right.
Nice. Fabian, glad you enjoyed it. Awimar. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That's something you have to learn, right? So when you're having conversation, both pilots still have to listen to ATC. Right, because yeah, pilot monitoring needs to listen, make sure he catches any frequency changes, etc., any clearances, and the pilot flying obviously has to then stop talking, right, so that the pilot monitoring can actually listen and hear what is being said. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, pilot monitoring duties are actually, at least IRL, are actually more demanding than pilot flying duties, because you know, pilot monitoring has to still monitor everything the pilot flying is doing, right? And then also, I mean, that's what makes a good pilot monitoring is if he or she is flying mentally, you know, with the aircraft, meaning that they will make their own descent planning. They will, you know, think about, okay, when do we, you know, when should we do this? When should we do that? When should we do the checklist, etc. And then the fine tuning then is to be able to give the pilot flying the amount of room that person needs, and then know the point at which you really have to tell the pilot flying, okay, we need to descend now, or we need to put the flaps out, or, you know, what you shouldn't do. And it's always an issue for captains, especially with you first officers. You know, the first officers will not learn if they're not allowed to make mistakes, or if you talk them through the approach all the time, right? So that's always a challenge for the captains, right? Allowing the free space, right? But know when you have to do something, when you have to tell, you know, the first officer, okay, now we need to have the flaps out. So I remember that you know, doing training on the 737. It was so fun to see. I was just on the first couple of flights, and I was literally always too high. And so I had a really cool instructor, and he was like, Mr. So-and-so, right? So he always called me by my last name. We were, you know, usually talking, you know, first names, but then whenever he said Mr. So-and-so, we have
your last name is not Box?
No, apparently not. So spoiler alert, it's not Box or Black Box. So he said, we've got to do something. And I knew immediately I have to pull the speed brakes, because I knew I was going to be high in the approach, right? So yeah, it's something, you know, you have to learn over time. And yeah, and in the end, I mean, yeah, the worst thing that happens is that if you failed to monitor properly and call out things early enough, well, in the end, 1,000 foot not stabilized, well, you go around and you just do a second pattern. That's all it is, right? Hey, Peter. Yeah, so yeah, it's a challenge, and this applies as well to the shared flight. So if you have someone that's very experienced on the aircraft type, and you fly along with someone that isn't, you have to hold yourself back, right? Allow the other person to fly the aircraft and wait before you say something, right? Cool. Thank you very much. I enjoyed the flight.
I did too, and I appreciate your patience.
Oh, no problem at all. I have lots of patience. I always say I don't have patience, which I don't really, but in some instances I have. So on shared flight, I definitely have patience. No, I enjoy these things. It's nice to see, and I've said it to you know, to especially people in my community. Is I am fascinated by how willing people are to learn these real world procedures and you know, get their system knowledge up and really try to learn the little bits. So yeah, Mark. It's fascinating to see, and I've had some shared flight experiences already. I remember the flight we did with MAN into Ajaccio. Wow, he performed so good. I was thinking like, I'm just gonna shut up now and just do the checklist, because you know he's so good. I don't need to tell him anything. He knows literally everything. There's so little I could tell him, so that can happen as well. But if I notice that someone being very proficient, then I can hold myself back. Absolutely. But yeah, so I do hope Caesar, you've learned a thing or two today, because that's the main thing.
Yes, absolutely, and I'll be watching the VOD too. Yeah, I will say it's a little bit intimidating doing shared flight with you on your channel, because there's just so many people that in your community that are just they really understand and you know, study the minutia of this kind of flying, you know.
Yeah.
And so I feel a little like fish out of watery when we're doing this, but I'm learning and I do enjoy it. And you're such a dear person, Black Box, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's, you know, I'm retired, so I have the time, and it brings back good memories for me as well, and flying again. Yeah, so next stream, well, not next stream, but we could do a shared flight in the near future again. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, maybe in March, hopefully.
Absolutely. We'll do so. Good. Then, SimCaesar, let me say a big thank you to you, gifting, I think, 5 subs today. Thank you so much for your generosity, as always. Thanks for all the resubs coming in as well. My dear moderators, thank you so much for being here, looking over the chat and the stream. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again very, very soon, guys. On Saturday, I'm going to fly on Saturday. We're going to fly to Calvi. I saw that the stream, it's the scenery is available for 2024. So we're going to fly Toulouse to Calvi on VATSIM. If anyone wants to join, stream starts Saturday at 1700 UTC. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night, and see you soon. Good night.